learned anything, it's just to bend over and take it until it's over.
You want some of this?
You want some?
Oh no.
So I did click the button like 40 seconds ago.
Oh shit, that's a bit embarrassing. Hey,
There we go. We're back. And we're live.
everyone knows my secret now. My strategy. Shit.
Well, it's Kingdom Hearts Day.
I love Kingdom Hearts.
Love is a strong word.
I love watching Kish play Kingdom Hearts.
Me too.
I loved Keish wanting to finish last time and having to deal with like 2 corridors of enemies that wouldn't die.
Oh, it was horrible. Also, Nem and Fruity, thank you for the contributions to the whole game event, as opposed to the wholesome game event. It's just whole game.
Oh,
We're playing the whole game.
I see what's
Also, Sylvie, thank you as well.
I found it.
Not new game. No new game.
Delete your save file and start it again? Okay.
No.
Misleading options. God damn it.
I would
Continue,
decry.
retry, and what?
It's all bad and I hate all of it and I don't want to be here.
It's
But
just
we are here.
started.
Yeah, I know. God, what a horrible thing we've done. Do I need to buy anything? As per usual, I've forgotten everything. Do we have an air slide? Is that a thing I have already? Doesn't seem like it.
All I know is we need to get the Kira ga 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 ga.
If the gas don't go off the screen, it's not enough cure.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it goes in its own number slot.
Why doesn't it just say that then?
It's stupid!
He does not go very far at all.
No, it's a
like
low level
Terra's
one.
does, but
But
less.
worse. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
By half.
You just
Taro
got-
and Zoomin. Okay, yeah, as per usual, I've already forgotten like everything, including the smashable moves that we're trying to go for. And
I
how
shall
to
re-get the
play.
smashable moves.
Just smash them all. Just smash the moves.
Yeah, but there's
Smash them
there's
all
specific
together.
moves that we want, you know? So that's cool and fine. Oh god, I do no damage. I literally forgot everything. I can't do anything.
You got tornado.
How did that grinding go, Cash, by the way? That grinding you were going to go offline?
The grinding that I said was probably not going to happen, but hey, who knows? Yeah, it didn't happen.
Even with all that grinding, it's doing nothing.
My god. No, come back.
DSP did play Kingdom Hearts, by the way, but only 1 and 2.
Well,
Just checking. Oh no, he did play 3!
Oh no.
He ain't done any of the side ones. We need to get him on Chain of Memories.
No,
Oh,
my god,
God.
no.
Not even our worst enemy should be subjected to that.
Navigating the menus for him would be literally impossible. Why am I not hitting you? I know I don't do
would-
any damage, but
He'd need someone in chat to tell him every button to press.
constantly. Listen, why am I whiffing?
Because he's holding the Keyblade upside down, and his range is terrible when he jumps.
Hey, he's dead. It only took like 10
Just
minutes.
that easy. Oh, it's the same guy. No, it's a slightly different guy who also you can't hit.
Ventus, where are you going? Where are you going?
The one
Why-
place not yet corrupted by capitalism.
Where is he
Spice.
going?
Told you.
No.
Oh, he's a cube. He cubed him.
Killed him and it did like nothing.
It cubed. He was a cube.
You cute.
I saw it. You saw it.
We all saw.
No, I don't think that's true. No.
So we've posted all the data, all the intel,
Perfect.
all the matrix code. It's 3 guys now instead of just 1 guy. We're done. It's over. We'll never defeat it.
Oh. This man is never going to die.
Yeah, he
He has
has
too much
infinite
health.
health.
Yeah.
If you could just hit him so he get mad and go big. Yeah.
Hey!
that,
Go big.
that.
Mad.
Okay, we did the hard part. We clicked X 3 times. Now just the easy part. These 2 enemies with infinite hit points.
Just suck them all up.
It's a bit crap. I thought this was only like because I was playing in proud mode and this was my problem, but I'm so shocked that it's in normal mode as well.
Yeah, it's just like this.
Bad. It's just what they do. Aerial slam. Cool. That did like nothing. Love that for me.
Maybe you should have gone to the Disney World and gone underground. That was Terra's secret last time and he was fine.
Hey, I mean, nothing's stopping us from grinding on stream.
Except for the fact it goes. Da 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 da.
Would we rather that or bippity boppity boo?
That, but only just.
Yeah, only just.
The scale is the absolute bomb is It's a Small World.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Then
Okay,
one
so
step
we're
above
doing-
that is Bippity Boppity Boo.
Totally
we're
forgot
gonna
about
do
that for a
bad
second. Oh, no.
ice cream mini game again, right?
No, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good. I'm good for ice cream. I'm full.
Yeah, even the hard mode. No, we don't need it.
Please, please.
What is it? The battle music that was the additional ice cream song?
Yeah, for the gummy ship.
The gummy ship.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
No, that's not it. That's traverse tap.
No, that's it.
That was it, dude.
Yeah.
I know things. Oh, I know things. I know Kingdom Hearts things, and I don't
Yeah,
like
you-
that.
You're infected, just like the rest of us.
Horrible. Horrible. Are these the same enemies that I had last time? Did they despawn and then respawn? Is that? What
It's
just
hard to
happened?
tell.
Perhaps.
You hit them so many times, you push them past like a loading zone, and they just went back to the middle of the room on full health. It happens.
Please. Well, this is riveting to start with.
Yeah.
Love it. Isn't this
Well, at
your
least you didn't have to do any grinding off stream.
Yeah, that would be tragic.
You just have to do it on stream, but then it still takes up the stream time, so
Yep.
you'd still be free in 2 hours.
Yeah.
But that does
And
mean
then we take 2-week break.
more Kingdom Hearts stream. Do you think we could finish Ventus today?
Oh.
No.
I mean, not in 2 hours, probably, no. But the actual final fights aren't really as long as Terra's stuff is.
Sorry.
It's not as bad as Terrace.
I mean, you
Terra
got like
has
what, this, and then yeah, just this, and then the Peter Pan world, and then that's it.
Horrible. Forgot about the Peter Pan world. The only thing that would make it good is if Goofy was around.
By the
Miss
way,
Goofy.
the thing I got that were all of Sora's voice lines doesn't have Sora yelling Peter Pan in, and it's very tragic to me. I can't put that in the stupid videos. I don't know what context I'd put that in for, but I'd find a use.
Oh yeah.
Could slow it right down and put in the scary music.
Yeah, they added the soundboard thing to Discord.
Oh no.
And it's been an experience. Everyone that I talk to in servers just keeps spamming them. But I added all the sounds to them and they keep using it, so I can't be mad.
You've done this to yourself.
Yeah, they just keep spamming emotional damage when I fuck up. Which is a lot of the time.
Damage. That's the wrong button.
You want some?
No. No, I do not.
You want some sea salt ice cream?
No, I do not.
Not ice cream.
Not ice cream.
That's fine. I didn't want to go up there anyway.
Dang.
Please, camera, work with me here.
You got the madness early today. You love to see it.
No.
I love to see it.
No.
I do.
No.
Okay, fine. I hate it. I hate to see it.
Wait, is this what? But I don't want to be
Oh, this is the
here.
room with the
I was
jellyfish.
just gonna say, is this the jellyfish room?
This is
Oh, jellyfish.
the invincible jellyfish. At least I
Right in
think
the
we
middle.
can just press
Go
the
in
button.
the middle
though.
of this room, just dead quick. Just
See how much damage we do to it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes!
It's big.
Well,
It's the
better than
guy.
I thought it would be.
Wow, we're actually doing damage to it.
Oh yeah.
Why is this the only thing we do damage to?
Yo, that's half his health.
That
We have an
still doesn't
elemental
do it.
advantage against jellyfish. That's Ventus. Hey, there is
Too
two of
close
them
to the
now.
Two.
Evo, please. Sorry, my cat just took the stinkiest shit.
No. No. Trying to sabotage this run.
My god. Bruh. The cat box isn't even, like, it's in the hallway outside of the office and I can smell it from my desk. Holy
No.
shit, Devo.
Oh no.
Gross.
What is wrong with your butt? Okay, it's fine. Just
It's fine.
needed to spray some stuff so I didn't have to keep smelling it. Oh boy! I think Devo ate something. His tummy is upset.
No.
Poor Tom.
Oh, stinky baby.
Ugh. Wait, there's a stupid you.
Yeah, you healed them.
Ah!
Oh, you're dying of poison, I think.
Horrible, terrible, awful.
Hey,
But why are we just suddenly doing damage to things?
only to the jellyfish, right?
Another fire slam. Or fire surge.
Maybe this is really weak to ice. Because when I just hit him normally, it's not great damage. Ow, ow, ow.
Oh no, they have attacks. Oh, they just stood there and never died.
I mean, yes. But that's just this game, Travis.
Is that thing Phil said, or is... Sorry?
Ah! Sorry.
Had to tell.
Touched me and I was scared.
Oh no, pick up all the little jellies. Well, that freaking murdered him.
That was great, and I would love to do that again, actually.
Oh.
Maybe they're weak to everything. Maybe they're easy, actually. Do you get experience for each lay you kill? You should.
I think so?
I want that.
Please, please, Jelly, die.
3 little baby ones. And then we're done. We beat Kingdom Hearts.
This is it. This is the game.
This is the end of Ventus's story.
Ventus
Fight
is quest to
jellyfish.
defeat a jellyfish.
Whoa, where are you going, friend? Away, he says.
See it. We're very
Jelly-
good though. We have Kiraga already. Terra didn't even have Kiraga.
Yeah, I did sort of just say I want this now, though, and worked on that exclusively. Because I wanted that. Hey, 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 I'm opening a box here.
So, please.
Hey, forget about it. I'm sorry, people. Don't be offended and beat me up. Please don't beat me.
Who? You.
Hello.
Sylvie, we're safe. If anyone fights us, they have to fight Kesh too. And Kesh knows about wrestling.
It's
Yeah.
He's gonna
true.
hurricane ran her up.
What am I doing?
What?
Ow!
But we came.
And also,
from the
name's
top,
huge.
though.
We can just say what we want.
Yeah, name kind of swole.
And we're all wearing Kingdom Hooters shirts.
Is
We're
this our
indestructible.
tag team name? For the Kingdom Hooters?
That's right.
Kingdom Heats.
Showing up. I want them gone. Well, I guess we're diamond dusting now. For this
Shit
one
up.
guy. For these two
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Summon those two motorcycles.
Had them scissor together to form a motorcycle. Now that's a motorcycle.
That's a motorbike.
What were the Kesh quote? The famous Kesh quote.
Oh yeah.
Those lesbians just fall on had sex in front of that donut goblin or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was glorious.
Something like that.
Oh.
You
Those
know.
motorcycle lesbians, possibly.
I can't wait till we play Final Fantasy 13.
Oh no.
I ain't playing Final Fantasy heckin' 13. I've done my time.
Yeah.
I've 100%ed it, so I
Oh my
don't
God.
mind.
Why? Why
That
have
is-
you
Because
done
I
this?
actually I like the late gameplay of it, and I got there and I was like, well, I might as well.
You one of those, you
27
can't
hours
say
to
the
get
game's
there?
bad, you didn't even get 20 hours in. So
No,
it
no,
opens
you
up
can
very
say it. I don't
slightly.
think a game should take like 20, 30 hours to get good.
It doesn't get good. It's
Okay, I
less
got
bad.
It's less
Yeah.
bad. I like
I'm
that
with
you don't
Fruity on
have to
this one.
just mash X to like do the auto battle. And,
Yeah.
like if you do the side quest, you
Wait,
can't
didn't I
actually
play this one
smash
as well?
battles.
Ma'am, are you a Final Fantasy 13 apologist?
No, I'm totally
Okay.
against Final Fantasy 13. Burn that game to the ground.
Am I supposed to go through the thing that I have blocked? Did I not need to? What's this
Yeah, we
button?
did come from the top, which is kind of weird.
A quick note on the Final Fantasy 13 with the open world stuff. I wish you could just travel like all the locations you visit leading up to that point. Because I feel like
Yeah.
it was a whole other landscape at that point of the game when you then could travel. So I was kind of like, it's great, but...
Yeah, they fix a lot of stuff in 13 too like that,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it a
Are
lot
we doing
more better.
13 and 13-2 and
Wait.
13
And then lightning returns.
versus lightning
oh,
return?
No. Oh no. Oh,
Where were
There
you
is-
when lightning return?
There
I
is
haven't
13
finished lightning
too?
returns
There are
yes,
3
Yeah.
13s.
Time travel.
13s.
Why?
because
Why
it was
13-2
very
is
popular in
actually a lot
Japan.
better than the first
Who
one.
taught
Yeah.
these people
I
how
play
to
that one
count?
as well.
That's my question. That's not how numbers work.
Because it's not the main series games are all in a different universe, Kesh. But
Oh, I
but
didn't say-
10-2 and 13-2 take
No.
place in the same
No.
in the
Yeah.
same one as the numbered one.
No.
So that's why you like that.
Same Stitch. Same buddy.
Stitch is trying to explain the Final Fantasy naming convention. Stitch knows very well in Lightning Return.
I like that you can dress up lightning and lightning returns, and that's about it.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't actually play that one.
that's the thing I know about Lightning Returns is you get a lot of cool cosmetics.
Oh, okay. The ship can take damage. That's cool. Love that.
I just remember Lightning Returns coming out and just thinking it was the funniest thing in the world. And telling everyone that Lightning had returned.
Ow.
Let him go! Sorry, I saw Stitch doing a little toddle
Get
around.
excited. When I see Stitch, I just get so happy.
I can't
Oh,
get
he's sucking!
He's sucking the...
Get up on the second platform!
I can't because I'm locked onto him and I can't see the fucking computer! Ah!
Okay, she's gobbling up your points.
Your life
Well.
points.
Well!
Ah!
Oh, thank God we got air dash. Holy shit.
I don't know what they want me to do!
Whack the octopus.
Oh, I'm gonna whack that octopus. Wow! Wow!
Hey!
There we go.
Stop sucking the tube, octopus.
I'm whacking you. Stop sucking.
I wish this game would stop sucking. Alright?
This game is great.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
this one also.
Ah, I'm in the blender!
This one probably
Oh,
sucks
God.
the least ass.
Ah!
Couldn't get out of there, and I'm not allowed to dealing. Leave me alone!
Hey, you got twisted hours. Congratulations.
Hey.
It's a new finisher.
Oh, he's invisible.
Oh,
Oh, never
invisible.
mind. That lasted 3
Oh.
seconds.
I don't know where he is. Where'd he
Could
go?
be anywhere.
The one time the lock-on actually works is when it's
How can the
invisible.
tube again?
I can't log onto him anymore,
Oh.
We heard Sylvie
and I
talk
don't know
about
where
the
he
lock-on.
is.
Yes. Oh, great. I forgot to turn off the lock-on
There we
function.
go.
There he is.
Sir? Sir?
Kind of rude.
Stitch, do you want to help out, bud?
Stitch, please.
Any moment now.
Stitch, I can't help but notice that you own a gun. Do you want to shoot him? So I don't have to jump all the way up here?
Oh? Please!
This looks bad.
I couldn't get out of there. I was smashing the
That
buttons
was-
to dodge. There's no dodge in this game.
Ventus will blend.
And it's
There's no dodge mechanic.
In the blender.
he just ignored my bullets. He just
It's true.
he attacked through my bullets.
He attacked through your bullets for insane damage. I think he spawned out of nowhere and just appeared. You see the delay on the controller is such.
Also, hi train. It's bad here. I don't think you should be here. It's bad. Got an octopus sucking, and I can't whack him enough to get him to go.
It's an octopus and he won't stop sucking.
Hey, don't stop sucking it. Don't stop sucking it.
Please, please.
Stop it!
I can't do
No
anything
blame.
when I'm here.
It's fine. You got twisted hours to throw your Keyblade 3 times at it.
Great, great.
So that's it, and they did decent damage.
Why is that like automatically applied? I don't want.
Oh, he's sucking the tube
Fuck.
again.
Oh,
Stop sucking!
get off my tube! Oh
You goddamn octopusy.
fuck. Well, I'll just bonk my head on the thing and then not jump high enough to get up there.
And then
That's
face
cool.
plant into the middle.
All part of the
that's
plan.
great. Love that for me.
Stitch,
Where are
can you
you
help?
going?
Speaking of Octopussy, another great Bond movie. Parentheses, great.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Whoa, wait, oh.
Eh.
I'm so upset right now. Stop!
Yeah, I'll watch more Bond movies anytime with y'all, or just any movies in general.
Hell yeah.
To watch movies?
Yep.
We have to watch more movies.
I keep forgetting because after Kingdom Hearts, we all run off and eat food. Because we're all
Yeah.
about to starve to death. and
We
then,
have to regain
and
our
then after
sanity.
that, we just don't talk to each other for a week because it brings back the trauma.
It's our weekly trauma meeting.
Oh, the camera.
It's a fast octopus.
I'm gonna die.
Oh,
I'm
God,
gonna
what?
die. I'm
Go
gonna
do it.
Die.
Oh, we got this. Found the dodge.
Oh my
No
god!
dodge in this game,
You
and
hit
there's no
him.
never gives you any ammo or healing.
It did attack him, but then he went invisible, and I didn't know where he went.
I didn't even see that was him.
When
Look
Stitch
at
actually
Stitch
shoots, it does
later.
damage.
I hear the suck.
Yeah, but where's the
Suck.
sock?
Where's
Whack
suck?
at him.
Game, I should be allowed to hit him when he's sucking on the tube, even if he's invisible. Here's the thing. I
Don't
hate
suck
Twisted
on the
Hours.
tube. Yeah, Twisted Hours kind of fucking sucks. Oh, I think he has a better tornado than you.
He got shot by Stitch a lot, and that did a little bit of damage to him, so that's
Yeah,
lovely.
iframes, it's so good.
It's over.
The camera just like had to stop there for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
No, it was
doing
trying to let me
something.
do my move. It was doing my aerial slam move, but their man
He
is
pushed you
already
out
flying.
of the screen.
Yeah, he's a little big.
So rude.
Die, 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 die. No! Ventus!
You have your focus. You can shot lock him if you really want to.
Donna, but I don't know where
Wait.
he is because he's invisible.
Ah, the tube's getting
The
sucked.
tube.
No, I
Stop
can't.
sucking on the tube.
Stitch is just down there going.
There we go.
Stitch is just having a good time. He don't even like attack Stitch.
It's because we're shitting on Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
London is the best character ever.
It's over. Cut it out.
Y'all are Ventus and I am Stitch.
Stitch is telling us about the tragic tale of the funny black man who has an afro and a bird lives in the afro in Final Fantasy 13.
I see.
Saz is the best character in Final Fantasy
Don't
13.
No, that's real.
Friendship's more than an object.
Yeah.
Friendship. Circle?
Yeah, eat it. It's trash.
Don't let the little mimic fool
No!
you. You saw for yourself what kind of monster that thing is. All it knows how to do is hurt and destroy.
He waddle back and forth and barely do any destroy.
He missed all of his shots apart from like
Some
2
sort
of them.
Mutation, hidden in the little freak's genetic coding.
Van! Run!
Fuck!
right.
What the fuck's it?
Better say your goodbyes now, because 626 is about to be destroyed.
Sir, I will destroy you. Stitch just DDT'd that man.
That was very good.
Oh. Bye.
Space
Oh, no.
cops.
The space police.
Where are we going?
When are we watching Lilo and Stitch?
We should. We are scheduled, I think, for a good movie next, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Guidance is not functional. Navigation failure. Do not
Oh,
engage
no.
hyperdrive. Repeat, do not engage.
Break formation, get clear!
And then Ventus fucking explodes.
What is it? What's going on?
Bye. It's fine. Stitch will make a cooler friend. Got her dealing with Stitch now. Everything's fine.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
You got a very silly keyblade.
Yeah. Here for it. Deep space. Get me out of here.
Yes, Peter Pan.
Petey Pan.
Peter Pan. Okay. I need a new move.
So many crowns.
So many unsmashed moves.
Just gonna do a bunch of these.
We'll probably put the smashed moves in as well.
Yeah. But also, I need to look at the things that you posted so I remember what's happening. Do we have a blitz yet? I don't think we do.
We got no blitz?
We have quick blitz.
The ballroom
We need
blitz?
full fat blitz. Full flat.
No diet blitz, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, no full fat blitz here.
We got mini.
We do have mini. That is
We can make
true,
them
you are
very
correct.
small.
And then freeze, raid, and Roga. Okay. We do have a freeze raid, but we don't have.
Gotta smash loads of arrows together.
We only got basic arrow.
Got a lot of arrows to smash.
Well, let's do some funny smashes.
Yeah.
Never mind, I have nothing.
Never
to
mind.
smash.
None of them can smash.
Okay.
I'm actually mad. Do
Hey,
we need
look
to do more
around.
spells? Does Venice like to smash a spell and a punch to make
I
a
mean,
spell
he-
punch?
He is the only person in the game that can use deep freeze. So, I mean,
Deep freeze!
yeah.
I have that voice clip, by the way.
How does one make deep freeze?
Give a shot.
Oh, never mind. Everyone can learn deep freeze. I was wrong. Some people have just a unique way to make deep freeze.
Deep freeze.
Deep freeze.
Fire!
Fire! This should help.
Nora?
The madness is saying.
I can only buy one. I can only find one Aurora.
We can buy an arrow and an Aurora and then mash
Yeah,
them.
we can, just get more arrows and then smash the arrows together to Aurora, and then get another 2 arrows together to make Aurora, and then smash the 2 Auroras together to get Aurora.
Consider. I don't.
I can just not do that. We could always just find another Aurora later. It's hard to say words after you say Aurora.
Yeah.
We'll do this. We'll edit our deck. Tornado, I love you, and I am gonna keep you in here for right now. And then
We do have an do we have an extra slot? I thought we had an extra slot. We don't, do we?
I've already filled it.
Just arrow.
So
We
many
have
arrows.
Fire strike, arrow, and tornado.
Let's
Yeah,
not fight
listen.
any bosses of this kit.
We're gonna hang out here for a minute,
We
and
can kill enemies with this toolkit. It's fine.
I'm gonna fuck up Peter Pan with arrow. It's one weakness. Alright, we still do no damage to these specific fat guys in this room.
What are we doing? I
Oh
need
yeah,
to get
you
rid
still
of-
have
Why did
twisted
those guys
alloys.
die?
I gotta get rid of that because I hate it.
It did damage?
Yeah, but I hate twisted hours. I don't want to do it.
Why the hit, Kish?
'Cause it's stupid and interrupts everything that I'm doing. Be big. Be slow. Why is that what you're doing?
I'm slow.
I like how because it's on the PSP, they're not like quite round, they're more like a D20.
Yeah.
You completely missed that, you fool. Ah!
What does arrow even do?
I think it just makes a little swirly around you and then explodes all the enemies around you.
Wind.
It's pretty good.
The radius on the basic one is incredibly small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like the damage is decent.
I think he goes into his super forms as well using arrow, so it's also pretty good for wind-based moves.
I'm scared. There's a lot happening in this tiny area, and I
There
don't
is
know
a
what's
lot.
Oh yeah.
going on. Well, that's not what I wanted to do, but okay. Where am I going? What was happening?
It was
was
roly-poly, boys. It's fine.
Horrible.
We're doing really well.
Yeah, we're kicking
Yeah,
ass.
there was a lot happening, and I got scared. No, stop.
Me stop.
Excuse you.
How dare.
Ow, ow, ow. It has that big
Yes.
hitbox at least.
Yeah.
Twisted Hours thing's real good.
No. What? What?
Oh, and it's Twisted Hours. More of that, please.
Arrow's already level 3.
Nice.
Wow.
Smash.
I love this mid-combat smash. Good stuff.
Come on and slay him.
Welcome to the jam.
Blizzard boost.
Totally forgot.
Nothing else I can see there. Okay, fine, great, cool. Don't even give a shit. No, get me out of there.
You want to meld again?
No.
Meld 'em. Slam everything.
That there, and then we get, I'm looking at things. Hold on. Aerial slam is ready. Don't need to do nothing with that. Throw that in there. Start from the top and work our way down. And then I need to get rid of. No, where is it? Abilities?
No.
You can also make blitz if you fuse quick blitz and slot edge, or you can fuse stun edge and slot edge to make blitz.
I just heard the word edge over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, stun edge and slot edge.
Edge.
Edge edge.
No
Stop
edge.
giving
The
me the
circle,
tutorial.
the sphere.
Let's you go back to Airflare 1. Come on and slip.
Please. What are you doing?
Turn the gravity off.
No. What do you mean, whom's the fuck? My good friend Sylvie. Also, hi, Star.
This the bunny boy, everyone's favorite bunny boy.
Sorry, I should have like finished literally saying anything, but then there were enemies, and I was like, I have to do I have to kill. I'm sorry. I must murder.
Who was Sylvie? You're a
Some
murderer,
loser.
Sylvie.
No! Stupid, horrible,
Yes, new Sylvie. I got new model.
Okay, anything else?
Good.
Okay. Well, I don't want to fight up here. Is the thing? Oh, I guess I'm attacking that box now. I guess we're still attacking that box.
Fuck you, Box.
We're just gonna.
You're not better than us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell 'em.
Show that box before.
Oh, I'm a gonna.
All the men have gone.
Do the DTs on them.
Oh?
I love them.
Stands for double diarrhea trumpet.
Yeah.
Well known fact
What?
from wrestling.
I can't remember what mine was. It was like dastardly, deadly something or whatever. Transaction or so deadly, dastardly transaction or something.
Wind the man. That did nothing. That just threw him. He just went flying.
It's a good CC move.
Great. Great. Get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm bored already.
Yeah, we're a bit stronger, and you know we have that grinding spot in the Peter Pan mode if we need it.
Yeah. Please. Overwrite. Yes. Let me leave!
Let me out!
I don't want to be here anymore! Fuck!
When you wish upon a star.
Dick!
Okay.
I just want to be done.
You're near the end.
Why can I see Tinkerbell's whole ass?
What's that? Why was
Fuck Disney!
Hey, yo, that's kind of hot though.
No! I feel bad for my neighbors. I think a lot of them are home today for some reason. So hey, this is what's happening in the apartment building when y'all are gone.
No! Just, oh, you took a stinky shit, and no! Michael!
Yup! It's fine, everything is fine. Is that it?
What the fuck are you?
We're dead. She's ready to full on kick me.
Oh god. I'm totally down.
Who are you?
Oh
Name's
god!
But everybody just calls
It's
me
the
Dan.
40-year-old man in the bear suit.
Huh. Yeah. Guess when I said
All
down
of
to
the
race,
monsters, the singular
I-
monster!
Where'd you come
Stars,
from?
I got shit for you to spend your points on. Don't even worry about it. Thank you for the contribution, friend.
Yeah, no horny bonk here. I have made a bonk emote for when I do the full new model debut, so people can use that to punish me in other people's chats.
Nice.
A shooting star? You mind if I come along?
Of course not. But you gotta agree to follow us.
Yeah, it's right over.
Oh god.
That way.
So
by the
bad.
I
Indian
forgot what he actually sounded like.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yay!
Hey, it's not good.
Just remember, Sylvie doing an old man voice for him. His actual voice is worse. Oh god.
Yeah, this is
Damn,
awful.
why? Gammy's just a little guy.
Oh no! They better give good experience.
Well, excuse you, you were in my fucking tornado! This is miserable. What the fuck is happening right now?
They attack through your bullets and do insane damage.
We did get a new keyblade.
Also, they're healing.
Right!
Oh yeah, the two of those are healing each other.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
it's horrible.
We got a new form, go! Cyclone! Just kill
Lazy farm.
Please, you have to die.
You got one. You killed an enemy, a basic guy.
Fuck, I missed. Tornado, please, right now.
Aurora leveled up, that's great.
Whoa!
Boom!
It was very fast and very confusing. It didn't seem to do a lot of strength. We need that. We could use strength.
Yeah?
This is horrible.
Whoa! Whoa! How much damage we're doing with all that extra strength, though?
with our all magic command deck.
Hey, we need. Wait. I was gonna
Have
go
to remember
menu
to put on
do the
stage
keyblade.
keyblade, yeah.
Yeah, and then enemy showed up. I thought I cleared the area. I was gonna get this box, and then I was gonna do the keyblade.
No.
Guess there's an even better keyblade in the box.
The double win, they never see it coming.
I like how you can combo them out of Iroha with Iroha.
Well, I don't know why I got Firestorm, but okay.
Somehow, yeah, we
Hit the
did
man.
that.
Thank you. Please.
Do you have to go through Firestorm to get Cyclone?
Yes. You have to go through at least the first stage one to
Horrible.
get to Cyclone. So any of them, I think, should make you go to Cyclone.
Why do you hold the keyblade like this, you actual idiot?
It's fine. For your troubles, here's a panacea. Cures your poison.
Single item.
No, it's kind of pointless in this game.
Yeah. Hey, we are doing damage though, so that's exciting.
It shows
Not a
what
lot,
one level will
but-
do.
Listen, it's not a ton. Alright, no.
No!
The jingle from hell.
No, I wanted the man that was behind me.
They all have such high defense that every time you hear that sound, it's like 5 more minutes off your life that you have to spend just pressing X to these fucking guys.
I'll be right back. I have to tinkle really badly.
Yes!
Oh no!
Especially after that, I'm gonna go before the emotional damage sinks in.
This is fine.
Get that Fantasia.
I don't want to be around anymore.
The enemies here are quite strong. The thing I've noticed.
Whiffle tornado.
If the emotional damage is too great, we should maybe call after Venice and let Sylvie do Echo.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Committed.
You want to do it?
Listen, I've gotten this far.
Yeah.
This game isn't better than me.
Playing out of spite, angrily defeating Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
Conquering it.
And then you gotta say, very enjoyable game.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
I really enjoyed this. Fuck this game!
Flashback. It's good fucking stuff.
Not 2 minutes earlier.
One could say the game has left an impression, that's for sure.
Permanent battle scar on the brain.
The impression in the desk from slamming the dang controller.
I haven't gotten that mad yet. It's just
Yeah, I
me
know.
yelling.
Yeah.
I'm just a verbally angry gamer sometimes. No,
Wow, we'll let the
here.
enemies know.
Just go a little bit angry video game nuts sometimes.
Stop jumping away from me! Okay.
Stop it.
It's going so far! You!
You. Get over here, you little shit. Not that far over there. That's where the enemies are. Don't heal those guys for me, please.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
It's like a 10-minute project to kill an enemy now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Here!
Even the lock-on was like, don't worry, bro, I got you covered. Immediately targeted this healing guy.
I think there's 3 healing guys currently active though.
Yeah.
2 now. Oh no. Oh yeah, there are.
Win to this boy.
Whoa!
We win to this boy.
Whoa!
Oh, win the boy.
Tornado this boy. Let the
Sorry,
tornado
I had
do
to
more.
embrace my inner Chris Pratt.
Please. I don't know what's leveling up, but I keep hearing the sound for it, so that's cool.
I like hearing all the sounds that are being produced because it takes away from me hearing the full extent of this melody playing, so I'm not being like going insane of the music. There's enough.
I prefer it. It gives some hope, at least in the tune. The other one, do 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 do
Yeah,
do
this one's
do.
It's repetitive, but it's not quite as repetitive. I don't notice it nearly as much, and it's probably because it's not one that, like, you know, is just burned into our brains collectively as humans. You are born with
No, my sticker.
I wanted that. Yeah, we're all born knowing.
There's a Roga.
Well, that's great.
Oh.
I fucking bought it already.
Lovely.
Yeah, you bought all the things. Smashed together for no reason. Congratulations.
Hey!
But now you get 2 though, so you know you never know.
No.
If you ever want to make 2 of those super moves, then you can.
We're gonna make the Kingdom Hearts movie, and Chris Pratt is gonna be every character.
No.
We're gonna invite him down to the sound studio to record all the lines, and then we're just gonna lock the door and leave.
With him inside?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we'll come back in like a year and move the skeleton out.
Chris Pratt, please read these lines, please. Oh yeah, sure. The blood.
You want some?
You want?
I don't know that we would be able to convince him to get into a studio. I think we're all a little too gay. He's like deeply Christian conservative, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, so...
That's fine. We'll get Haley on the phone.
There we go.
Haley, we have a scheme to murder Chris Pratt.
Oh god.
What do you say?
HR Haley. Oh.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Chris
Chris
Pratt.
Pratt. You know, everyone's favorite actor, Chris Pratt. Okay, look, I don't want to jump on these anymore. Game, let me out of here. Get me out of here. Horrible, terrible, awful, miserable.
Why these tiny babies take 3,000 hits?
Yeah.
No, he's gonna fall in the
Don't
water!
fall,
Oh,
Bill.
now he's
Oh,
in full
please.
hell.
No.
Are you shitting me?
Does no fucking damage. It's just to stun them, I think, and just make them, you know, not piss you off and all hit you at once, I think.
They always piss us off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess that's the move I'm doing now. That's fine.
Quite a lot of them.
Please, Kuraka, you have to come back.
Kuraka, please.
No.
Why are they doing that? Swag didn't leave, Kim! Video game, I'm right here.
This time we got Fire Strike! Nice, we use some moves, we go up a stage.
Cyclone actually hurts him.
It does damage, yeah.
Yeah. It does stitch her.
Thunder on these thunder elementals, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was mostly doing it so I could, you know, not die. You wanna? Okay, we just won't hit the man. That's fine.
Careful, he'll despawn himself.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Come back even more powerful than ever.
Fix me.
Strike me down, Ventus. Strike me down.
No.
No,
Unacceptable.
Not a single buff in it.
I killed you.
You got air flare too.
Dead.
He's on full health, Kish. What do you mean?
Where the fuck
Ah,
did this
there's
man
a
There's a
come
monkey
from?
now.
There's
Oh
a
no!
monkey.
Now he's
No.
on full health again.
It's only been an hour. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Cage. Just think you get a break for 2 weeks after this one.
It's gonna make it worse because I'm gonna come back and really not know how to play.
You can just grind in between. It's fine.
If only there was some valiant hero out there who could remind us that you need to block when we get back. Oh no, he's on full health again.
No.
No.
This fucking area sucks.
Wait, there was just more of them always. This just goes forever?
Well, there are monkeys there now, so that's at least something.
There's
Well, they
a
don't get
monkey.
picked up. They get damaged though.
No!
What is the top of and what is the bottom of that scale?
Hydra, how done are you right now? Yeah, see, I wasn't here for the Hydra fight. Also, wasn't the. Oh my god,
Ah!
get away from me. Who's just showed up?
It's the guy, he's on full health.
me! Hey, how's it going?
Where did
Where
the
did the
monkey
monkey
go?
The monkey vanished!
Why is it like this?
Oh no.
Where
No,
are
Kish is
monkey?
going towards the end.
No! I killed Mufasa! Yay!
Hey!
Defense increase.
And the monkey's back.
The monkey's back, stronger than ever.
Full health.
Oh, now
Fuck
you can
you,
pick him up.
monkey.
Yeah.
You'll
Oh
be
my
level
god,
21
that
if
does
you want to pick a
damage.
monkey up.
When they're
Level
big,
20
it
is not gonna
hurts.
cut it.
Okay.
You did it! You killed all the enemy. If he died and you had to restart your progress in this area, I would have been very upset for you.
I would have.
Oh,
I
God.
would have just quit fully. Stream would have ended right then and there.
It
Baz
Spoiler
is baking
trails.
and painting a flower.
was
Just as a contrast to all of the things that are happening here.
Never seen you before. I'm Vince. Call me Vin.
Get this man
Well,
out of
if you
here.
say so.
Come suck on these friendliness pellets. Whoa.
Excuse
Now
me?
then, man. I don't suppose you'd want to capture some.
Flowey loves sending friendliness pellets of happiness to you.
Oh, I
Oh.
understand.
That's from the video game where there's the funny skeleton who goes. "Ba-da-da-da."
Uh-huh. Correct.
Oh, I can't believe you hit me, you goddamn. Oh, Tinky.
Tinkerbell? What's gotten into you? We were all supposed to go hunt for a shooting
No,
star.
I
Sick of the camera showing her ass.
When is Sora gonna finally defeat the funny skeleton who goes ba-da-da-da and the bad flower?
I'd love to join you, but first I want to find the
Never.
shooting star.
Not once. Not even once. Okay, can these people
When
stop
is-
talking to me?
When is Sora gonna team up with I haven't played Undertale to defeat the funny skeleton?
Great, balloon letter! Wonderful, perfect. What the heck?
Kimberwolf
Enjoy
is
more
raiding with a party of
monkeys.
3. Kaysh and the gang welcome you.
Yeah, thank you for the raid. Well,
Hey, Raiders!
Hello,
we're
welcome
playing
on
a
in.
bad game that I hate a whole bunch.
We're
Immediate
angry
reminder.
Cash is angry there.
Immediate reminder that this is an 18+ stream because I say fuck a lot. And tell people to eat various genitalia a lot. Thanks to this wonderful video game that we're playing. But yeah, welcome in. How's everyone doing? Thanks, Kim, for the raid. How was your stream?
Man, Donald Duck's a bad influence. Telling us to suck his dick
Only
every 2
Donald Duck was
seconds.
still here.
Just wanna watch a stupid movie spin.
We're playing Monkey Ball now.
There
Can we
go.
play Monkey Ball? That's a
You
good
know-
game.
That's a game we could be playing instead of this. But we're doing all of Kingdom Hearts instead of Monkey Ball.
And then we're gonna play Final Fantasy 13.
You roll a ball around and it has a monkey in it and it actually slaps. Is the thing.
Yeah.
You just roll a ball around with a monkey in it.
You tilt the stage around and you wobble the monkey and
He
Okay.
wibbles and he wobbles and he frequently falls down and then you have to restart.
it has also some freaking amazing like mini games that you can play. I love the one where you can fly and there's like mines in the air and stuff, like spike balls in the air and you gotta like land on a platform. It's pretty great.
You're just flying through the air.
There's also bowling. The little gopher gets flunked out of the air.
Okay. Well, we could.
When
be playing
is Sora gonna
Instead-
team up with Monkey Ball to defeat a rotating path?
Xehanort in a big cube rolling
Oh,
ball.
that'd be Monkey Ball's anime.
With what to get the thing? You're
Quick.
just gonna tell me everything.
Quick Blitz and Slot Edge.
I don't have that.
He could have little keyblades on the outside of his Sora Ball that I can use to attack his. No, Sora would never do that! What are you talking about?
Well, it's hard to make Slot Edge as well.
Okay, that's fine.
You can make Slot Edge with Poison Edge and Cura. And Blizzard Edge and Cura. Those are the easiest two.
I don't want to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can I do? Why? Why?
Why nothing go in the slam
Game, we
machine?
have so many crowns.
We must need spells, right? Like, we must want spells to go in the Smash machine?
Yeah.
Because I don't have a robot leveled up, which would make sense because I did just get it.
Yeah.
I'm so mad about this. Sorry. Just staring at it, seething.
I think a lucky strike though. Super Monkey Ball just doing a big old speech. Like I was always just trying to get the banana and I didn't care about my friends and I didn't care about what people thought of me. And I realized the real banana was in here all along. Just in my heart.
It's not where bananas go. You need to see a doctor.
But like he's inside the monkey ball, so it's just like
Mickey's
The fuck is this? How did you? What was that laugh?
Let Tinkerbell
Sorry, I like everyone doing it all at once.
It was certainly noises.
Meet me at Mermaid Lagoon.
Stop!
I thought it was like Pete or something for a second. Did he just scram at these? Does
I
it
wish
scram?
Pete were here.
I also wish Pete were here. But Pete's in the bad world and we don't go there?
Pete's not in this game.
It's also playing the music that usually plays when Pete's here. It's so fucked up.
Oh yeah. This is the "Hey look, it's Pete" music. Where's Pete?
Why I oughta.
The bad, distorted audio to make it sound like it's old.
I love that level. I
thinking of
genuinely
Chinese
like that's the best level in the whole series.
It's very
That's
good.
great. Not when you have headphones on though.
Fair.
I didn't realize how bad it was, like, because normally I just heard it through the TV, but then I heard like, all the crackles in my ears. I'm like, this is the worst.
Hear all the crackles in your ears, and you're like, why I oughta?
I'm gonna die.
Getting
Here's the
shot a
thing.
lot.
I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
die. And there is
Abort!
nothing
Abort
I
tornado!
can do about it.
There's no dodge in the game. Why is he so slow when he's drinking cash? He's like,
He's like, glug, 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 I'm drinking my water. Glug, glug, glug.
you might have watched video of how Darkside felt playing video games badly.
Why is there a boat here?
I enjoyed watching Kaysh afterwards do the glug glug glug.
Yeah, you have to do the motion with it.
Yeah, he did the motion when he did it originally.
And because he did
Oh,
it,
I'm over here drinking my water. Please
I
come
have
at me. Glug, glug, glug.
It's Darkside Phil, bad man.
Bad man.
Please stop hurting me. I don't wanna be here anymore. Fuck off! Why are you doing that? You bitch!
What dodge?
Oh.
No, I need to not be here anymore.
This is the hardest room in the game.
Yeah. I find people getting angry so much funnier when their microphones cut out to save the peaking. What the fuck?
Discord being rude.
Oh. Yeah. It was very entertaining for me though.
Sometimes we grow when he does. Please never fix it.
I don't think it does it through OBS because I have it tuned down to accommodate for when I stream. More for when I get scared and do a stream. Discord is bad about sounds in general, so.
It's not
The intention
calibrated
was
for
never
angry.
to play Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts precautions have not been taken. I like when they just explode while they're whooshing around and all the money falls out of the tornado.
Yeah. Oh, they're trying to run away.
No.
After kicking your ass last time.
They know that I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
He starts shooting his little tornado! Swoosh, swoosh,
Oh no,
swoosh!
3 monkeys. Watch out, they have an infinite combo.
I'm scared.
Oh, there's just a monkey behind just swinging. Oh, that dumb beetle!
Hey! Why that guy not get picked up? Is it because it's full? Is
Maybe,
the tornado
yeah.
full of monkey?
It might be too much monkage.
Tornado.
Tornado.
Monkey.
Ah! Okay.
Trying to remember the monkey ball monkeys. Like Gonga, I think, was one of their names. Like Gonga Gonga. Aye. Can't remember. The baby one was my favorite. I love the baby.
monkey. Everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. And I did it. Tornado is level 5. Holy shit.
Oh.
I
Whoa!
didn't realize it went that big.
That was Mimi. Mimi and Baby. And Gon.
You're a paper ball.
I lost them.
No, I've not heard of paper ball. Sorry.
You gotta be rude like that.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're a paper ball. I don't know what it is, but you're one of those
Where
things.
light comes from.
Listen, Kingdom Hearts Madness is fully set in. I do not take responsibility for the things that I say right now.
Our anime laugh again. I think we flashed back to this laugh like 4 times.
Can't wait for FF10.
Tinkerbell's been pixie. Mermaid Lagoon.
You really don't have to do it anymore.
I'm going to.
I love the voice actor because it just sounds like he's dying at the end of it as well. He's just dying inside of a cringe, like,
Oh, holy shit.
And then Yuna joins as well after saying to stop doing.
Great.
Then you go,
I mean, what else are you supposed to do at that point? Man's lost his mind. And you're just stuck there.
I just love it when it cuts to everyone else just standing there looking at them like, what the fuck?
I don't know what this does, but I'm just gonna keep hitting.
It's part of that thing with the, oh, you actually go up when you do his auto attack though, so you can actually get to the top.
What the fuck?
It's that part of the song with the I'll make a man out of you, and then you climb the top of the thing and get the arrow at the top and throw it down. And then make the general fall in love with you of how badass you are. And then he gets upset because he thought that you were a guy, and he was like, man, I want to be gay with you. Bummer.
Fire strike and more fire?
Fire strike.
Fire dash.
Not fire dash. We have one of those. Are there no more
We have
enemies
fire
here?
dash at home.
Game, you've taken away my grinding spot.
It might only be here after you beat the story.
Ugh.
No. No. I don't
Ping's
wanna
fine.
go to Mermaid Lagoon. Sorry.
Ping's just in the Mulan level, doing fine.
Yeah, we love Ping. Who's this Mulan you keep talking about? Only Ping.
I did wonder why the movie was called Mulan when really it's about Ping.
Yeah, there's no one called Mulan in that movie.
It's like how the Legend of Zelda is about Zelda, the small green man. Don't know why I brought that up actually. Never mind. Disregard.
It's unrelated completely because that just proves the point of the thing, but that's fine.
Oh jeez.
It's just that thing where it doesn't do that thing. God, I love it when it doesn't do that.
Tink, it's you, and you're all right.
She's fine. She is still flashing everyone though.
A strange.
They
feeling.
could have
Yeah.
just not done that.
Hold on. I
Some-
gotta stop
Is-
that cannon.
The thing,
Okay,
but they
I'll
like
go after Hook.
made those
Weird
panties
horny nerds
roots
of fucking
and everything.
Disney.
The fuck? Can I fly now?
What? It's
Is
pixie
this a
dust.
horrible mechanic that I
Makes
have
you
to
feel
deal with
lighter
now?
don't you?
Oh no. It's just gliding. I'm doing the thing that it's telling me to do.
Does it need to be equipped?
Yeah, you had to equip it.
Then why the fuck did they start me right where there's a enemy?
There you go, you can do this thing now. You cannot do the thing and cannot equip the thing to do it.
Glide.
Scream.
No scream. Wee! Oh, it's really slow ass glide from Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't they learn anything from
Aw.
Kingdom Hearts 2? Oh, congratulations on your Dale sticker.
Yeah, nicely done, Keish.
Thanks. Wanna look at my stickers? I have stickers. Y'all wanna see my stickers?
Here we go.
What? Stickers.
Stickers.
I got
Yeah! I love ice
Way.
cream! I love that there's also a cone for obvious placement of the ice cream. We're still just putting the ice cream over his face. Oh no! No, Dale!
Hey! Crystal Bobtail.
Those are my stickers. They'll be like,
He just set Dale alight. Shove the sparkler up Dale's ass.
I thought it was a water fountain. Like genuinely, I thought it was a water fountain. I'm sure he likes it either way. It's his favorite. Honestly. I don't know why everyone's tripping. I do need to kill these things. Not here.
No, we fought this specific area too long.
This is where I came from. Great. Fucking love it.
Fucking love it. I love Fridays so much.
In case you're wondering, that was one of the ones where it gets cut off a bit. Ah!
That makes sense. I hate it.
Oh god. Oh.
I don't want to be here anymore. There's cannons and legends. And I don't want to be here.
Oh my god. It just does one combo and goes, I don't want to be here.
Don't! It's horrible.
Hey, you should open that chest over there.
You should open up the chest over there.
Oh. I'm having a great time. The treasure raid. That's great. I think that can be used to make into things.
Intense Googling.
Treasure raid can be used to make wind raid, which is, I think, the good raid ability.
Why is there a regular? All right, because Quick Blitz is the little one. It's full fat Blitz, which is what we're looking for. Actually.
It's a lot of eggs. So many honey bunches and dancing lemons.
Not many dancing lemons.
I can't see what's happening.
Doing fine. All the men are falling off without dying, though, so kind of.
Yeah, they give you a lot of edges in this, where they can just fall off
Yeah,
and revive.
and then
I don't know
just
why.
Come back on full health.
Why does it just kill them?
No, leave me alone. Something died.
Monkey gone?
I think they're all dead.
I think monkey gone.
It does a lot of damage to the monkey.
Don't fall over the edge.
Trying
I was
not
talking to the anime. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, but I'm trying not
The enemies are
to.
trying their very best to fall over the edge so they can come back on full health, you see.
They found out the cheat to life.
No, come here.
Oh, you almost had you there.
Venice's moves deal a lot of knockback, almost no damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking Clyde. Yeah.
And that makes me happy.
I love the glide. You go, wee.
Oh, I remember. This is where the boss I remember is now.
Alas, and so passeth a worthy opponent. To think that his would be
Ooh.
Y'all are gonna want
Go.
more water.
Thank you, I.
Gotta take my oiter so I avoid a rage headache.
Hey!
Don't want the rage headache.
This is a live notice from Joey Wee. Make sure to drink your water, folks. Don't get no angry headache or else Time Wizard's gonna come around and bonk your head. Baby Dre. Nah, thanks, Joey.
I also got oiter.
So do I. So do I.
I still have Dr. Pieper. I can't be asked to go outside the back and get my bottle of water.
Oh, did I miss Joey Wheeler?
Joey
Wheeler was
Wee!
here.
Yeah, Joey Wheeler was here giving a message
Horrible.
to tell people to get water. Or else Time Wizard would bonk them on the head. Give my baby dragon. Neil Mancha.
I spilled a little bit of my water, but it didn't hit the floor because it all landed on my sock. So now I only have one sock on because my other sock is wet.
At last, that scurvy
Fair.
brat will never trouble me again.
Fucking no.
I wouldn't be so sure of that, Hook.
Swallow the eyes. No.
He's far away.
I don't want to swoggle no one's eyes.
Oh God,
is
Peter
it
Pan is
so
just banging
quiet?
Shmee.
That Peter Pan.
The fact that it was just dead silent that whole time was horrible.
Oh, that's all.
Be careful, he's gonna spam zeros.
No, not again.
Oh no.
Stay away from me.
I don't think so.
Oh, he just showed up in front of me.
Disappeared there. Please, let me.
Who is this sassy lost child? Oh, we have not got the good command deck for this.
No, we're fine. This is fine.
We
We're
got
gonna
quick
win the whole
foots.
game. You don't like being lit on fire. That's a little bit of damage right there. He's definitely, he does a little bit more than we do.
Yeah.
Sir. Ah! No!
Tornado is not happening.
No, it's the problem with Tornado.
Just pick up the alligator. Oh, what a block! Oh, but he can block too.
Oh,
You can tell the captain reads his Twitch chat.
Get in the water! Get in the water! Get in the water! Get in the water!
actually Captain Hook who was leaving that comment. Oh, that does damage.
It does,
As
yeah.
opposed to hitting him.
No!
Oh, he's mad.
Ah, ah.
Here's a present.
Get up! Get up! No. This is horrible.
Yeah, in like Proud Mode, his normal one-hit combo over his like swing will kill you. It's awful.
Hey! It's fine, we're doing really good. Oh,
Yeah, we
does
are.
he always get mad after he goes in the,
Yeah, he
in the
does.
water?
Could maybe like shot lock him after we get him out the water. This is a good
Oh,
block though.
Perfect timing.
Nice.
But I need that time to heal.
Oh, what a sidestep! My guy's got this footsie game.
Reading the inputs, unbelievable.
That's why I hate playing against CPUs.
Can we crouch in the corner and just do low kicks?
Can we just keep sweeping until it dies?
Nice.
Oh, he didn't like that.
You did block some of it.
Yeah, some
Heavy
right at
set
the
on
end.
fire.
You knocked him out of angry mode.
Yeah! Please leave me alone, sir.
It's hard to be angry when you're on fire.
I don't know! I feel like I would find space
I think
to
I'd be angry if I was on fire.
What if you're like, you're angry, you're like, ah, I hate Kingdom Hearts, so then you get set on fire. You'd be like, ah, I hate Kingdom Hearts and I'm on
And
fire.
I'm on
Ah,
fire, yeah. Well, I don't even care. I just
Hey,
need
Aqua,
to
mom, help, mom, help, mom! Ma'am! Captain Hook is beating me up, ma'am.
You bastard.
It's got hops.
Mad hops.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Oh, you caused him on fire because you're in Firestorm.
Oh, he's not gonna have a good time while we're in Firestorm, huh? He's gonna hit this.
Sir.
How about you?
Ah! Thank you.
I'll get you!
Still better than Nort's. What is it? What? What? Nope.
Why do they always have such bad, like, battle dialogue? I don't know. They always make such strange bad sounds too often, and like it's like a Kingdom Hearts staple. All the enemies have like two quotes that they just say constantly every second that they're alive.
Sir, I am facing you. Here's the thing. I have been, and now you're gonna be on fire. Maybe, potentially, if I can land a fucking hit. Shit.
Present for you.
He does calm down very quickly from being lit on fire.
Yeah, I
He
think he
gets
gets
over
used
it
to it
real
after a
fast.
while.
Let's go. No, stop walking. Sir.
Very rude.
Please, I don't want to be here anymore.
He just wants to give you a present, Kate.
No.
You're
Don't
spitting in the
press
face of his generosity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just what I do.
Unbelievable.
Fuck. No, you won't.
I'll run you.
No! 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 No!
Oh no!
Okay, well,
Buying some time.
I think you have to block like
Nice.
immediately after because
Nice.
he will just immediately try hurting you.
Very, very scared.
Just... Yeah, you have to block it, I think.
Oh, that was nice.
Hey,
Nice.
nice.
Good
Close.
fun.
listen, I know what I'm doing sometimes. Sometimes.
Just don't use tornado. Finish him!
Okay, no, you smashed this one.
Easy peasy.
Beautiful.
That's the
That was
last
good.
of our dick capacity.
Dick.
Beautiful.
I love my
Sure love
dick.
expanding more dick.
I've just killed a man. And that's very funny to me.
Ventus just like sticks his hand like and just drowns you.
Just pushes him under the water. Shh, no tears, only memes.
Look what we brought!
No thoughts on that tiny man.
Hey, Ventus, it's me. Hey.
Treasure. Yep, the same chest I told you about. We
Glorious
snatched it
chest
right
ahead.
from Brooke's hiding place.
It's full of Tide Pods.
Eat them.
How come it's empty?
I already ate them all. I don't feel so good.
We lost all the treasures? What?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's because they're
who needs
babies
it?
and
It
they've
was
not
probably
been to
just
school.
full
They
of
don't know how to
dumb
talk
old jewels or
properly.
doubloons or something.
That's a 40-year-old man, Kish. You know this.
Okay,
We treasure
maybe he's
instead.
drunk. I don't know. If he ate a
There
bunch
we
of
go.
Tide Pods, he's not gonna be able to think properly.
Yeah, there you go.
Up with jewels and gold and stuff.
He
not
was
drunk.
full of Tide
The
Pods.
real rich.
No, he's drunked.
There were Tide Pods here. They're gone now.
What are you putting in, Ben?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't know any of you.
Oh god, those
How
eyes.
about this?
Put my Keyblade in.
What is it?
Thank you.
Trash.
for blocking
Something that
those
one
eyes.
of my best friends gave me.
This was right up my ass this whole
So it's
time.
like a keepsake, huh? You sure you want to part with something that's
Is
special?
he keeping all of these things?
Yep. I don't need it if I've got Terra and Aqua. Our best memories are still ahead.
Then you can
I've
say
fallen
that
out
it's
with
just
his death.
garbage.
Next time you visit, we'll have
Then
Oh,
we've
where is
seen
that
the last
thinking?
cutscene of like at the end of with Terra. You get kind of frozen, buddy. You're not having a fun time in the future, friend.
Right?
There's not fond memories ahead, bud.
It's all bad.
Oh, wait, Tink.
Technically, the entire
I'm pretty
Kingdom
sure
Hearts
it belongs to
series
a
is
friend of mine.
is ahead.
Think maybe I could hang on to it?
What a lovely, warming thought that.
The future is horrible. Full of whimsical characters.
Thank you.
Trying to find their tops.
Very important to them, okay?
Finding
Right.
tops and puppies.
Yeah.
Did she just hand you the Act of the Covenant and you melted your face off?
Yep.
That'd be fine.
Look, the light!
The light.
Don't worry, men. No matter where that light takes him, then he'll always have friends waiting to meet him.
Oh god, his head is so strange.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bits of it just kind of wibble around. Horrible, awful creature. Get Peter Pan out of here.
Hey, it's not good. Okay. Great. Cool. I don't ever want to do the
Gorge,
command board.
the king must be
My
pretty
boy!
far away by now.
Welcome in, Sketchy.
Donald.
Hi, TK.
Hi.
Take care, Donald is here.
Here to say, suck my dick.
Finally.
This is the origin story of suck my dick.
Huh? Look, that feller's got the star shard the king borrowed.
King? Oh, you
You
must be talking
stole
about
it.
Mickey. I saw him. What?
Yup.
Huh? Hey, take it easy.
Who's this Mickey? We only know of a Michael. Damn it.
Horrible goblin laugh from Donald. I don't want to see Yen Sid.
No one ever wants to see him. He's horrible. His visage is just terrifying.
Gosh. Where'd you come from, friend? Oh, the Neverland. Oh, who's there? Oh, someone called Peter Pan. Oh, Peter Pan. Sounds like a cool guy. And then he gets reminded in Kingdom Hearts 1, and he's like, oh, I remember that name, Peter Pan. It's all coming together. The dots are connecting.
Oh, makes sense now.
It's even gonna zoom into a rock for foreshadowing for Kingdom Hearts 2.
Goofy is walking along the cliffs of Radiant Garden, and he meets the devil on the rock that will kill him in the future.
Blitz is what we need. I need to level up Blitz. Sorry. Got very excited that I remembered a thing.
Gives you a lot more magic.
No. No.
No magic.
No. Even though Tornado is our best move.
Yeah, well, Tornado betrayed me this last fight, so I'm
This is
rethinking our
true.
relationship.
Does have a little trouble with enemies that move when they get hit by tornado.
As to where the king might be.
Yeah. Oh god, this man.
Ventus. Atticus has told me
Well, while
much
he's
about
doing
you.
that, I look at.
If I am not mistaken, you were ordered to return home.
Well, sir,
No matter.
Huh?
Mickey has difficulty following directions.
Got any more of those Disneyland passes?
Where is this?
I wish to play It's a Small World on expert difficulty.
Sure. That's what I usually go by.
Goofy just called Ventus ventilate, and that's very funny to me.
Please explain.
Oh
I
god.
ran into Mickey, but we got sent flying into
Hi,
the light.
this is my
I
Kingdom
don't know
Hearts
where he
OC. Ventilate. Please don't steal
Wasn't
him.
in the same world as the one where I
Hi,
came back.
this is Vento. He's very unique from Ventus.
Hurling himself from one world to the next.
Definitely not the same at all.
You see, my one has black hair, and it's 2 centimeters longer than Ventus.
Olympus pools.
Oh god, Michael's getting his ass kicked.
Good. He deserves it.
No, the Disney property can't be shown as weakness.
Interfering with my magic.
Just tell us where the king is, Mr. Yen Sid, sir, and me and Donald will go right there and save him.
You two,
Oh, jeez.
that may not be adequate.
I'll make him suck on my testicles.
The king's royal knights.
He just put this shit on my boys, and I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
I'll find him.
Why don't you fucking go, Yensid, if you're so tough?
I'm going to play It's
I
a
have-
Small World after all.
I am
Bye.
yeah. Time to
Don't
dry
worry.
clean my
I swear
robe.
I'll bring him back safe.
Very well, Ventus.
You may
God, I
think,
hate-
Sid, you only have the one, but it takes a long time.
I hate looking at him.
Yeah, he's awful.
You get a D-Link with Donald, though.
I have a
D-Link
dealing
with
with
Goofy.
Goofy!
Yeah!
Yeah.
Ah!
Friendship ended with Peter Pan. Now Goofy
You
is
also,
our
have
best
a,
friend.
you also have a boss fight if you want to make sure your command deck is fit for a boss fight.
Is it the Ericus fight?
He doesn't fight Eric.
Oh, well. Whatever.
Our dad comes in and froze us for a stinky portal.
Alright! Forgot about the stink portal. Fuck, I have to go back here because I want to level up my shit. Here's the thing. I have things
Awful.
that I need to level up. But it's fine. That's not it.
Is Tornado maxed? Alright, but we need Tornado to kill the little guys.
It's not even maxed.
Is it not? It goes higher than 5? There's numbers
yeah.
above 5?
Yeah, there is.
No, there's not. That's all I can count on the one hand, therefore. Jesus, it does.
Wade
though.
pulls out second hand. 2!
No, so we need... Aerial Slam is fine and ready to go, but I need to level up Blitz, and I need to finish leveling up Eroga? Why is Eroga not leveled at all? What the fuck?
Takes a
Why
lot
is
to
it
level up
so
Eroga.
slow?
Cause he's big spell.
Holy shit. Horrible.
At least the enemies are here now. Oh. This is the hellscape with these enemies though that throw the stupid wind at you.
They're shooting little bullets.
I've sucked them all up.
Good sucking.
Thanks, I do what I can.
Nice suckage. Coming from me, you should take that as a compliment. Because I suck at video games, chat. Why are you guys looking at me like?
Where are the monkeys, game? We know the monkeys are here somewhere.
Show me the monkeys and the balls. I need the monkey ball.
I'm confused.
It's fine, just keep mashing X.
No!
Oh. Let's hope there's no little guys throwing wind at you while you do this.
What are the odds? Would never happen.
No, they'd never show up. They're cowards.
Hi! We're doing great!
Yeah.
Let's go!
It is times like this where you miss our Solum and then you just like go for the whole thing and murder them all in one our Solum.
Great! Oh, fuck.
But that'll happen when you get ours Arcanum, you know. It'll be pretty good. Whoa! Jim, help! I'm coming!
Oh no! Stop!
Just want another banana to put on my head.
I do like that they have a little banana on their head. I do love that about them.
I do like the Unversed designs.
Do we need any other than Goof?
Sliding dash!
Oh wow, he has level 1 moves for no reason. Cool.
He can confuse the
Goofy
Goofy spin! Yeah!
Beautiful. Also, the picture of Goofy in the corner. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's our boy!
Careful you don't leave the screen by accident.
I'm in the world of Peter Pan!
Goofy, no! Come back.
I need you to spin, Goofy.
Can we move over this way?
Yeah, my anxiety of seeing Gully at the bottom is too much. This little tiny rabbit thing is just not dying.
Nothing dies. Only Tornado does damage.
There's a thing to level up Goofy!
Where is it? Where is it? Where?
Stop spinning! It's by the camp. The tent.
There it is.
There you go.
Hey.
Protect.
Great.
Goofy, the word Goofy has little eyeballs that are watching you do the fight.
Oh, that is awesome.
I have to impress him.
Goofy,
Go!
Goofy sees all, knows all.
I
Oh.
kept bouncing off the edge of the arena.
It was sitting there like freaking the fuck out. I was like, ah!
Enemies?
Hello. Oh, not one of these. Oh, oh you didn't pick me up first. Unga bunga.
Oh
Not the unga bunga,
no! I think
man.
the other one's all despawned as well.
No. Oh! Don't light up my ass.
Line
Don't
it
be
up!
scared to do anything, Trent. Just be aware that Goofy will see and judge whatever you do.
Fine, love Goofy here.
Yeah.
I have nothing to
Alright.
hide from Goofy.
Did you know you can block? I got a shield that does that.
I would throw hands with Goofy over that. Genuinely.
Goofy's just very insufferable in chat is the thing.
Not Goofy being a toxic
cannot stop backseating.
Did you know you could block that?
And it's
Of course, I'm
Michael
just trying to
we wanna-
help.
Michael, we wanna level up.
If you want EXP up, then yes.
No.
While you use Michael, yeah.
Well, that's not happening.
Yeah.
I guess I should probably check everything. Not there. That's not it. Nope.
We'll get there.
Eventually. No. Nothing.
Should we do fire dash and fire? What does zero gravity smash with? Fire.
Mind shield.
Mine shield? We like the mines, right?
Yeah.
Link prize plus.
That's shit.
Yeah.
That's literal ass.
I love this for me.
What again?
This.
We could always have a second cure because we're probably gonna need 2 for the final fight.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Get Fire Strike out of here.
We have Kayshurrr.
Kayshurrr.
Here. Please, please, I need to do a murder on you. I don't think you understand. I don't think you
No!
understand how badly I need to kill you.
No!
I
Don't
have to.
No! Do it!
Don't understand.
No! Do it! Oh,
It has to happen. Ow. Hey!
I guess I'm just as confused as you are. You hit me in the freaking nose, dude. Which one of our noses? You'll never know.
Hey!
So I put my hands up and playing my song.
Did the guy run up, flamethrow you, and then despawn? Oh no, yeah, he was still. I'm just baffled by the enemies just despawning for no reason in the middle of combat.
Yeah, they're kind of rude like that.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Whoop. Please. Well, that's not the one that I wanted. That's fine.
Teach us how to blitz. Teach us how to.
Use jack shot too.
Yeah.
If I
And then
score a
just go
goal, I'll
stand
do
behind
this.
the goal.
Makes me so mad that Train did that fight on the first try for the very first blitzball match that you do.
You just go behind the
Somehow
goal.
won.
After you use jack shot, it's fine.
But I don't think they had jet shot either. Yeah, Train didn't even have jet shot and somehow managed to score a goal, which should be impossible. It never goes in.
Yeah.
No! Tornado time.
And then they shoot the ball ever at Keepa, and he has like 2 defense to catch it. Anything will go in.
They just kick it from like halfway down the field, and you're genuinely worried that's gonna go in.
It's so ass. But it's great when you can do that later. When you can like shoot it from midway across the field and it goes down by like 3, but it still has like 20 shoot at the end of it.
And then you get to the point where like the Albed sucks by keeper, and he's got insane stats, and no one can ever score past him ever again.
Yeah.
And he goes full circle.
Y'all keep talking about Final Fantasy
Hey,
X.
strength.
This is fine.
Sorry.
No,
Oh.
do not apologize. Keep doing it. Genuinely.
He's there for a second.
My favorite guy in Final Fantasy X is the guy that goes Raiji Shupov, and that's my
Top tier
favorite
guy.
guy.
Good.
6. Where did the monkeys go? Why were they here and then not?
Did you all do the Thunder Plains thing?
The Thunder Plains.
Where you dodge the
Dodged
lightning
200
like a
lightning bolts.
billion times in a row.
Yeah.
I never bothered.
I
Could
did.
not be asked.
Oh god. So
I 100% it's Final Fantasy X.
European
nasty.
version with the Dark Aeons too.
Yeah.
Dang.
Like I also my Steam version. I've completed all the 10. It's great.
You just keep doing it.
You can manipulate the RNG in the Thunder Plains as well, so that it's like always a guaranteed spot where it'll do the lightning strike, so you can kind of just walk around it in a circle and press X at the right time.
Boy,
does make
you
it
might
easier.
have a problem if you just keep. If you can't stop 100%ing Final Fantasy X. I'm not sure that's normal.
I like Final Fantasy X. The combat's good, which is why
Why
I
does
100%.
Monkey not care about Tornado?
I don't know. I didn't have
This is a
anything in it
question.
before it. Kind of ruining him.
Yeah, you also gotta do that race in less than 0 seconds. Gotta love it.
Yeah, the stupid chocobo, right?
Where birds will spawn right at the end, and that's the dangerous part because they just materialize in thin air right before the goal, and you can just get stuck in there forever if you're in the wrong spot.
Stop talking to me about things. Game, not you.
Okay, sorry, Kish.
No, listen.
I'll go.
No! Game keeps giving me tutorials, and it's like I have played through you once already. None of this information stuck the first time. It will not work this time. You need to give up. One more. We'll do one more bout of this, maybe, if they decide that enemies exist. Thank you.
Sometimes they do.
They'll despawn soon, don't worry. No, not again. Oh, oh. I'm dizzy. Oh. Oh, you killed them slightly faster now.
It only takes like 40 hits instead of like 60.
He was there begging for his life forever. Yeah.
Ah!
Oh, he
Spawned
believing.
out of nowhere and just he's hitting you and comboing you.
Horrible, I hate him. But I juggle.
The enemies
it's fine.
literally weren't there.
Every time you say that, I do have to like take a moment to be like, is this a bit? And then it's
Sorry.
like, no, it did actually happen. I have the fill poisoning. I need you to understand. Here's the thing.
We need to watch the, what is it, 30-40 minute long epic where he makes a pot noodle with the whole gang.
No, never again. No. Rudy, no.
It's just such a roller coaster ride. That's the best video on YouTube. I'm sorry everyone, it's already been done. Stop uploading to YouTube. Someone already completed YouTube.
You'll never
It's
peak
Dark
the
Side
way
Phil.
that Phil has.
Dang it.
Oh wait. Despawn?
I feel like there are like 1-year-olds that could probably make. Yeah, I mean, shouldn't be messing around with boiling water, but otherwise, you know, could be trusted to make a pot noodle.
Yeah.
Oh. In less than 40 minutes, and with less mess, and without trying to eat noodles with a spoon.
You got once more!
Oh.
That's actually like one of the best things you can get!
Yeah, but wind rate isn't what I wanted.
I think we needed wind red for something else.
I smashed it with the wrong fucking move. I did the wrong.
Well, we got one small, which is like as good.
Yeah, but
That's the thing we were looking for.
because I wanted Ars Arcanum.
Yeah, but one small's it means you don't die when they do a combo on you. Kiraga.
Yeah, you need Blitz and Aerial Slam for Ars Arcanum.
We have Blitz, and we're working on Aerial Slam.
Yes, they're still fine.
No, everything's fine. Everything's in order.
Yeah. You made
You
Windraid.
smashed some moves together, and it were really good, and it were a good idea.
Yeah, no, okay, it's fine.
You're doing it good. You're
You're
good at
fine.
video game,
You're
kid.
good.
I was looking at the stuff for Windraid and thought that it was on the line for the R's move, and then okay, it's fine.
You're fine. You're good.
Listen.
You're a Keyblade master, Kish. You
I don't
understand
want to
now.
be taken away from me.
You just use your Keyblade master senses.
I just scared myself is all. It's fine.
It's fine. You get once more now, and it's gonna carry you for these next like few bosses you gotta do. You can actually survive on 1 HP now.
Even if I don't use Windraid, just having it on me.
Yeah, once you max it out, it'll be on you permanently.
Cool. Oh, okay. We're fine. Everything is fine. I'm just so used to this game giving me so much disappointment. Horrible. Come here.
What will you do with this
closer.
line of mines?
Monkey, come over here. Thank you, Monkey. Rest. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. That's a decent one.
Yeah, it hits like multiple enemies. It's good. And gives you Cyclone.
Goes whoosh.
Coming for ya.
Very slowly coming over the
You wanna?
What the fuck?
I don't know if this guy even moves.
Well, I'll move him for him though.
Yeah.
Then what am I trying to say? What words are coming out of my mouth right now?
You're saying something about lights and heart and darkness?
Yeah.
I'm worried, frankly.
My friends are my power.
Why is this the strongest thing here? Why is that little thing the strongest thing here?
I don't know, but I don't like it, and now it's gonna die.
Very small but very dense, you see.
He's accumulating mass. I need to pick up another Kayshurrr, so we can get Kayshurrr.
Do we
I mean,
have
the
another
Kayshurrr
Kayshurrr?
mostly heals you now, and you have once more, so you'll always survive at 1 HP even if you heal. So maybe just having the thing that doesn't take as long to fill up the bar might be so nice. So having just Kayshurrr and Kayshurrr could be nice.
What? How will we make Kayshurrr?
He's asking the real questions here.
I don't think you can make Kayshurrr.
No, I don't want to play this game anymore.
I don't think there's Kayshurrr in this game.
Where the fuck did this guy come from? Why is it only the one? Why didn't you die?
I don't want to die!
Well, he died.
That was overkill to the extreme.
Poor little guy.
Not the move I was going for, but, you know, it was kind of funny.
He's gone to space now.
It said that this was
That's the
last
one
we're
place
doing
not
this,
yet
but-
corrupted by capitalism.
Can we smash Ars Arcanum together now?
No, I don't think so. No.
No, Blitz not max.
That's why you do this.
It's fine. One more. Just one more. Just one more.
Copium.
Ow.
And then we get to go fight boss. Or you choose to level up Ars Arcanum so it does actual damage.
Who'd do that? Ridiculous.
Please stop being just out of reach. I know I can't reach anything, but please.
If only there was some way to use this weapon in a way that would give you additional reach.
It doesn't exist. That's
God, if
a
only.
fake thing that you're making
Perhaps
up right now.
a way you could hold it. That'd mean it was facing towards the enemy. I remember Blitz. I use Blitz a lot in Ventus's game.
Yeah, that's kind of good.
Does a tiny bit of damage, which is more than most of his attacks.
Yeah. And he jumps at them, so it makes him hit, so it makes up for his lack of reach.
Yeah. Enemies? Why when I'm standing over here, they don't spawn, but when I'm halfway across the arena, they're like, oh yes, now is my time.
And then half the time they despawn before you can get to them.
Yeah.
I think it's because the game is silly.
Why would it do that? You know what?
John Wick
Yep.
Knight.
Yep. I just watched those other monkeys just vanish.
Yeah, they'll do that.
They said I'm bored, actually.
They have to return to their home planet.
I also realized I've been on like the mini player for the secret stream, and I've just been having Sephiroth flick Sora in the face this whole time without realizing in my subconscious. I'm just gonna enlarge the secret stream now because I cannot look at it.
Nearly 2 hours in. You've only noticed.
Yeah.
Well done.
Like, well, my neck kind of hurts looking up to the top of the monitor the whole time. Why is that? Oh, well, I'm not in full screen. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, there's Sephiroth there.
They're good for Sephiroth. Also, enjoy John Wick and Train. Sorry, I've ignored chat so much today. Well, that's not what I meant to do, but you know.
Need to watch John Wick.
Yeah, you do.
I haven't seen any of them, and I
You
really
haven't seen John Wick 1?
I ain't seen John Wick 1, no.
John Wick 1's kind of fire.
I can't say much because I only just watched it, like, what, this year? The end of this last year? Fairly recently. But it was
With
rad.
me!
Yeah! It was very good. I'd be down to watch it again. If we wanted to.
We could watch a John Wick. We could watch a John Wick. We can watch a Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch first, then John Wick. No, John Wick till you finished your Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Wick.
There we go. Collab.
That'd be a good collab.
Damage Siphon.
The move.
I don't even know what Damage Siphon does. I think it makes it into your focus gauge when you attack, maybe, or when you get hit. I don't know.
Just Stitch in a tiny suit, just fucking destroying everyone. Perfect.
Village? No. Well, what did it get rid of? Nothing, because I used up both the moves that I was... No, because I definitely...
Yes.
I didn't have one of them in here.
I'm confused. It's fine.
You got moves.
Yeah.
Just...
use super
Yeah.
kick. You can use knife hand chop.
It's knife edge!
Knife edge chop, not knife hand.
That sounds a little cooler now. That makes more sense.
Oh, yeah.
Knife chop.
It's about the same.
Edge chop! You use your hand, but you use the edge of your hand, and it's like you're chopping with a knife, but it's not.
It's a karate chop, and you do it to make the
They make
chest
their
all
chest
red.
very red.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. Let me. Hera, you gotta go. Hera, you gotta go. I'm sorry, Dad.
What's your hand
Donald,
with Sarah?
you gotta go. Sorry. Snow White, I don't even know who you are. Bitch, get out of here. Zach, more like dumb.
Got him.
There.
More like pack your bags because you have to leave.
Fuck.
Oh,
Hell. Alright.
that's fair trade. We're about to get to some super lore stuff next. Oh, we got tornado for this.
Mickey!
That's fine.
Just
We
not
left
you.
that
Just don't
tornado.
use it. He's not breathing. I gotta give him
I thought I was gonna
CPR.
give him mouth to mouth.
I can't believe Michael is fucking dead.
Just leaned in dangerously close. I was scared for a second.
Kiss Michael. Square on the lips.
Don't kiss Michael.
You're gonna get
Kiss him.
some disease.
Push him.
Gonna get the bubonic plague if you kiss that boy.
Master Xehanort.
Everyone's favorite Uncle Xehanort.
Their favorite uncle. Their good uncle. I've been sitting here for a couple minutes being like, wow, my
So you're
foot's
starting to
real cold. What's
realize
going on with that? I don't have a sock
what
on.
you
I have
lost.
one sock on.
Oh, but not for good.
Could just take
You
both
had to
the socks off
lose in
and
order
slip
to
on the
find.
slippers I
Now
thought
it
I
can
had
all
here.
be yours again if you only reach out and
Slippers
take
were
it. Reclaim the part that left you. Clash with him. Pure light against pure darkness to forge the ultimate key. The all-powerful Keyblade.
I think I've heard of that one actually. I think I've got like 10 in my bag.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the subtitles, you fool.
None of the Keyblades you and I carry. The most ancient metal.
Oh,
Some
thank you
say
for bringing up the
die,
subtitle.
But the meaning is the same. Death. a
There we go. He
little
explained it.
Hey.
I still call it the
Kai
Kai Blade, so you know what the frick we're talking about.
Right?
I have the power to make it.
Correct. Ericus knows it too.
Love his stupid wiggly
He knows
fingers.
exactly what
Why
he
are they
wants.
so wiggly?
Master.
Why is Travis just laying face down on the ground?
Never granted you
I mean, to
permission
be
his
fair,
side.
I do that
It grows
sometimes.
Some of Michael's saliva got into his system.
Oh no, he's dead. Silva.
He's already
He's
feeling the
paralyzed.
paralysis. Yeah, paralysis kicked in.
Trusted you. Keep you within
Why
his
is
sight
he
at all
just
times.
laying there?
He just likes the smell of the desert.
I like, until you pointed it out, I just accepted that that's what was happening. Because it's Kingdom Hearts. Who knows what anyone is fucking doing? What is
Because you've been
anyone
watching so
supposed
much wrestling, you just like, oh, he's just getting his breath. It's
to-
fine.
Yeah, he's very tired. He did a big move. He just gotta take a
Learn the
moment.
truth.
He didn't do a big move. He didn't do anything. He just walked here and then collapsed.
Maybe that's a big move for him. He's a tiny guy. Listen, he is a baby.
He's baby.
Welcome back, stars. Why are we floating here? Why we wiggle?
What am
I
I?
hate it when sandstorms take you to space.
What's the master been keeping from me all this time?
Okay, I was wrong. We don't have a fight there. I thought we fought Vanitas again, but we do not.
Oh.
Well,
Oh, okay.
it's fine.
I thought they were like a big weird blob monster, but it was just a planet. It's fine.
No. What is this?
This is like your extra content area and has a few super bosses in there.
No.
Let's never ever touch down there, please.
Yeah.
Not even for a second.
No.
It's a bunch of stuff like kill all the enemies in this room and then go do more of that. You get points. You have like a score system as well.
No.
It's like mercenaries mode.
Only lame and not
I think it
fun?
has online as well, and you can play with other people that
Are
have
you-
like Aqua and Terra.
No.
Let's link up and let's connect all the
Be linked
PSPs
with my
together.
friends.
Ventus, you're alone? I thought Akko would...
Mark. Uncle Mark.
Well, what matters is that you're home.
I don't want to be
You don't belong outside
here.
this world yet. You need to stay here, where you can learn...
In your prison?
What?
That's your excuse. For keeping me imprisoned here, isn't it?
Huh?
What the what? No, what?
Oh!
Then I'm supposed to need some weapon. Some kind of keyblade.
I knew
No,
it.
you wield
Xehanort.
those. You are not a keyblade.
Oh,
Do
right,
you mean
Kai
Keyblade
Blade.
or Kai Blade?
Wait, Xehanort. There is a reason the precepts bar us from such knowledge. Why do you seek the Keyblade? Would you blanket all the worlds in darkness? Reduce them to nothing?
Do you mean Keyblade or Kai Blade?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's almost like there's a way we could avoid this confusion.
Amidst that crisis of precious
Possible.
Not that I can think
I
of
think
it.
of it, yeah.
You mean the Keyblade or the Keyblade?
ruin brings about creation. So what then?
You do actually have to check the subtitles to see how they're spelling it on the same. It's real dumb.
Of the precious light the legend speaks of. I must have these answers. The Keyblade needs to be forged.
The
And with it, the
Keyblade
door
or
to
the
the
Kai? I'm
Keyblade
never gonna
War
let that
unlocks.
die. That is the joke now for forever.
You would risk an apocalypse out of sheer curiosity.
Also, holy shit, I need these guys to stop talking. I have to pee.
I will never allow it.
But once again, you
What if
have
I just
all
run away to go
wrong,
pee?
Your
I'm gonna go run away and pee. Be right back. They'll
Dark
talk.
Knight
They'll do
beginning,
their
you
thing.
see.
Oh no, a boss fight! It's happening right now!
Emerges from
Kish,
the
look out!
world of light. Do we not?
Poetic
What's up?
excuses.
Whoa, oh, Tara's fighting us. Oh. Oh no, our
He's
dad.
naughty, he doesn't know what he's doing.
God.
One
He's so
thing
stinky.
What?
What? Ah.
Darkness.
Impossible. You were stinky all along.
power. Has the darkness taken you, Xehanort?
You couldn't tell by the
Stink
stinky
on it.
balls earlier.
I failed. I had the chance to stop him and couldn't do it. But I will not fail again.
Master, what do you...
The Keyblade has no place in this or any world. Xehanort has made his purpose clear.
Right,
I
that was all
am
just
left
a
with
flashback.
no choice. Forgive me, but you must exist no more.
Listen, I know no one's gonna behave while I leave, and that is fine.
What?
I know who I have around here.
Terra,
Tron!
command you
Tron's here
step
to
aside.
save
Hell
us.
yeah.
No, you will not.
No,
heed
that's
your
my
master.
dad!
I won't.
That's my dad!
Why?
Terra,
all my attempts
Execute
to-
Order
You
66.
are my dad! You're my dad!
Your
Boogie,
heart
woogie,
to
woogie.
obey.
Terra slaughters the younglings.
Single tear.
Master Terra, there's too many of them. What are we going to do?
Oh no.
It just plunks him on the head with the Winnie the Pooh keyblade.
Singing along to do 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 do. Kill all the younglings and what have you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
That is the medley I was not expecting. Oh god.
You may be my master,
Oh, it's
but
very
I will
good.
not let you hurt my friend.
As the darkness
Daddy
takes you,
stink.
Terra.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again! Yeet!
You'll never have custody of my son.
Wait, Terra!
No, the stinky poopy butthole closed.
Not here. Not here!
Oh, we're gonna have to build a raft.
Why?
Kari shows up.
Sorry, those seagulls,
I need 2 coconuts.
those seagulls' wings were like crossed. They were like this, and then when they would flap, there was like a little hole between the two of them and its body, and it was weird, and I didn't like it, and I don't know why they animated it like that.
Going somewhere?
Who the fuck are you?
Been a long time, comrade.
That's people that only played Kingdom Hearts like 1 and 2, and then they saw the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 where it shows this character in it, and they're like, who the fuck is it?
I think that's probably what someone who hasn't played any of the games other than Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 says every 5 minutes while playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this?
Who the fuck is that? Oh, why are there 2 of him now?
You used to be
Wow, look at that static reflection.
Oh, possibly. Weren't you dead?
The Neo Shadows. Why are they veiny?
A lot of girth.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Please don't do this, Master.
Not the girthy Neo Shadows.
I will keep summoning more until you hold the Keyblade the right way round. The Keyblade or the Kaiblade? God dang it!
Release them here and now. Sharpen your fear into rage. You must. If you do not let the stone within you run its course, it will wipe you from the face of the world. Make no mistake.
Would that be such a bad thing?
Do it. Embrace the darkness.
I don't want.
Produce for your master the Keyblade.
I love that he fights Neo Shadows, but then he gets his ass kicked by like a little like wind guy that shoots little wind pellets at him.
I mean, he did just get his ass kicked by Neo Shadows, so.
He's lying on the ground again.
God.
He just does that.
You would rather die than
Just
Take that
Yamcha
right
move.
here.
you'll find.
Yamcha's here. Yamcha's dead.
Must. I will extract the darkness from within you myself.
Sir? I think you have to ask before you do that.
Key beam.
You need consent before you shoot a laser beam at someone's hair.
Holy shit, that actually worked.
Maybe he's just trying to get the bugs out.
Even still. Maybe he likes him in there.
Empty creature from Ventus Riven. To you, the name Vanitas.
Oh, he's got bars now.
Yes,
How original.
Master.
I'll scramble your name and put an X in it.
It's like, oh, he said Riven. I wonder what he's gonna rhyme that with. Jeez.
Fine. Then I'll give you a reason to fight.
What?
Come and find me. At the one and only place to spawn the Keyblade.
The Keyblade?
Keyblade or the Keyblade?
You're gonna see me choke the life out of Terra and Aqua. Then we'll see how long you play the pacifist.
Wait!
Ugh, everyone's so very.
Very.
Terra,
Incredibly.
Aqua.
Those are their names. So he can hold the Keyblade, and I mean the Keyblade, not the Kaiblade, in the correct direction.
It would have been so good if he just like turned around and then the key beam shot behind him to open the door.
Oh, why is this game so stupid?
We're at the end of the game though.
Yeah, we are. Are we good to keep going? Nope, just gonna keep going.
I'm good.
I'm good to
I'm
keep
good.
going.
Alright. Are we sure?
Yeah, we can finish it, and then we won't be lost when we start. We just get to the end of the game like in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
3 weeks,
God.
actually.
Sorry, we're back to the
Oh yeah, we all have to admire
Oh,
it.
God.
And then look at the Mickey Mouse Easter egg at the down there. It is.
Oh boy. Oh
Don't-
boy. Don't
Friends
have a close up of that key. Why is the chain going through his hand?
Oh, it spawns upside down as well. Then I'm a loser. I can't do anything right.
Bad PNG.
Oh, I sure hope there's no tornadoes in here.
Do I have some news for you? Hey, they put the D backwards.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a reference to how Ventus, or not Ventus holds his keyblade. Listen, I don't know who these characters are, and I don't give a shit.
It's like Disney being a backwards G, you know?
Stupid. That's what it is.
Stupid.
Oh,
I
God.
don't think we're avoiding the tornadoes like that.
Oh,
I think being in the air as well.
never see it coming.
The tornado is worse.
I can't dodge fast enough!
But you actually kill the things in here, though.
Yeah, I do at least do damage, so that's exciting.
The grinding paid off.
Plus, Ventus can attack things that are up.
Yeah.
Ventus
This also
can
levels
look
up Ars Arcanum.
Yeah.
Did you know that Terrors can't look up?
Yeah,
I heard
Big
that.
Ed also says, wait. Sorry, the man was gonna explode and I had to not.
Silver.
So I'm in a little trouble with damage.
Let's just use some of our skills.
Yeah, but
I haven't whipped out the skill power yet. It's because they're hard to hit.
Yeah, that's mostly why I'm not doing it. And some of them will just make it even more disorienting.
But what if we tornado and see all these giant things just in one tornado?
You wanna see the tornado?
They are a lot of the little guys I don't know. Wow, it's like I saw the future there for a
God
second.
damn.
You guys want to see something cool?
You wanna see?
Ow, 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 ow. I mean, when it hit, it was doing a lot of damage. I'll give it that.
My moves can't even keep up with how wiggly these dudes are.
Even the moves don't have depth perception in this area.
Bad in here!
It's real bad.
Fuck. Well.
Does no one kill me while I do this?
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. You guys are real cool.
Whoa.
I couldn't tell where he was in relation to me, so that was neat. Loved that. Can you target the one that's directly in front of me, not the furthest away enemy? Whoa.
Your magic increased.
Great, perfect, love that.
If anything, it'll make your Cura heal more.
Hey.
God, it is bad in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't like
Especially
it.
with Benitez, who's all about wiggling and moving around. It makes it even worse.
Fine. It's fine.
Using
Right, get me
Cyclone
outta
in a
here.
tornado.
Also, TK, thank you for the contribution to the Roki game.
Please, no, tornado.
Oh, your air dash is
No.
actually kind of good now.
Ah!
I'm coming for you.
Eh,
It's horrible. I don't want to be
You'll
here.
never make the key
That's
blade.
it's
Is that the
awful.
Keyblade or the Kai blade?
The key blade. That did not answer my question.
Yeah, that was
Got the key
unhelpful.
blade on the car.
Yes. Well, what the? Oh, bibbidi bobbidi boom. Put up the cover and.
Please, please don't bibbidi bobbidi.
Do the thing.
Stitch's little picture, there's like maniacal laughing to him. It's like an evil
What a jolly
villain.
guy. It's just a happy little buddy.
He's just scheming.
No, give me that. Where did it go?
Did the staff fly away? Okay.
Got it.
Attack boost.
Oh, nice.
Actually good. Whoa! Damage.
We are getting shot a lot of times.
Yep. Why? Oh my god.
You're invincible. It was fine.
Yeah, but I panicked and I was scared.
You were trying to do normal moves, weren't you? I saw them.
Yeah. It was great to hear.
Not allowed. Doing the mini game now, right now.
Like in Kingdom Hearts 3, you're playing the teacups. You're gonna spin around in the teacups.
Damn, I've already done the teacups, please. I've done it twice this
What
room.
is happening right there?
Do it again.
Apparently you're invulnerable for that as well, so.
That's great because I couldn't move and I would hit X
Yeah.
to do the thing and it wouldn't do the thing. Stop jumping
Went too
away.
fast. What the
Oh
fuck?
my
No.
god.
Scared for his little life.
Good. Hi, flowers.
Hi, Klaus.
Hey.
Okay.
If you played Kingdom Hearts 3 Flowers,
You haven't. Don't. It's bad.
yeah, I'll ruin the teacups for you.
Is teacups your favorite attraction ride in Kingdom Hearts 3?
Show me a picture of all the attraction rides in Kingdom Hearts 3 and I will tell you they're all the exact same. Doesn't
You
fucking
got
matter.
you got like the little car, like the
It's all
buggy
the
one
same.
where you
Yeah, where you
go first
shoot.
person
You
and you
shoot.
shoot things.
It's
There's
all
a
the
first-person
same.
shooter mode.
It's also like one of the worst ones, I think, if
There's
you
also
get
the
one.
weird water one that, like, the first few times you're like, what is this garbage? How do I even? And then you realize it's completely overpowered.
Yeah.
You know what, Flowers? That's okay. You don't need to play any more than that.
That's probably for the best.
It's fine.
If there
Do
is
you wanna
one
have Tornado
Kingdom
on for
Hearts
these boss
here,
fights?
it's Cash.
No.
There you go. You okay?
You, but I don't.
Everything sucks.
Yeah, here's the thing. No, there's actually no games in this trilogy, surprising enough.
There are 400 games. in this trilogy.
Yeah.
There's so fucking many.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You have
we
to
can't
play
even-
Kingdom Hearts, then Chain of Memories, then 358 over 2 days. Then
Well,
Birth
if you
by
want
Sleep.
chronological, you can do Birth by Sleep, then Kingdom
Yeah, that's
Hearts
true.
1, and then Chain of Memories. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Quick Blitz is what got got when I got Ars Arcanum. or
The surges are really strong. The fire, both sub-fire surges are really good.
Quick Blitz and Fire Surge.
We worked it out. It was Quick Blitz that wasn't there anymore. We didn't realize because Blitz was 3 blitzes and Quick Blitz was only 1 blitz.
But yeah, how's it going, friend? How are you doing? Is it 2 boss fights? Or is it the 1 boss fight, actually?
It's just the 1 boss fight, actually. I have no idea.
I believe it's mostly just the one. It's like a 2-phase boss fight, though.
Okay, no, that's acceptable. Alright, well, let's fucking do this.
Mom and Daddy.
Mom!
Good thing our child isn't here. It's dangerous.
Speaking of Dad, I think my dad was supposed to show up today. Hey, Dad, are you coming over?
I was told.
Any dads in chat?
Was struck down.
Or daddies. Any takers.
Yes. That's right.
Look, they have a whole set of Tron armor that they can wear anytime they want. Just choose not to.
The Master. He tried to hurt Ven.
You can still see
I only
past
fought because I
their
wanted to
heads
protect
because they are.
Yeah, they've still got the weird see-through bit on his
Yeah.
nose, on his hand.
And the outlines of their skin in this bit, it's a bit weird. I don't know why this happens. I can't tell if it's just the totally legit version that we're playing on, or if it's just a feature.
So was the Master.
I mean, honestly,
I
I
did need to
would
be
believe
watched.
if it's like it's in the game and
I went
not
astray.
because of the totally legit version
no
that I
more.
have. Like,
Yeah.
the PSP was jank. Let's be real.
What else is darkness?
It had 2 games on it.
Crisis Core and Birth by
is
Sleep.
feeding the darkness,
Yeah.
Here we go.
making you fight. You'll go astray again.
Also had Corpse Party, but we can't really call that a game
Tell me,
because it's just text.
how does that honor our master's memory, Terra?
And you know,
It had
anything.
Yggdra Union on it.
I don't know.
And
It had Yu-Gi-Oh!
the
Tag
John of Arc
Team
game.
Duel on it. It was
Those
a
aren't
cool Yu-Gi-Oh!
games.
game.
No. Fuck, our son's here.
Oh god!
Make some kind of keyblade.
Is that the
A
Keyblade?
keyblade or a yeah? Tara's like a keyblade, and or Aqua's like or a keyblade.
Keyblade.
I still.
Yeah, they're confused.
I will not let this fucking joke die. This is it. This is the joke for the entire rest of the game now.
That's fair.
Relax, man. We're here, and we're gonna take care of you.
Don't worry, no tornadoes in real life are gonna ruin this moment for us again.
If I do,
Touch wood.
I want you to.
The 3 of us can never be torn apart, alright? I'll always find a way.
Sorry,
Don't zoom into my 4-pixel shirt, please.
I'm asking you, as a friend,
As my parents.
just put an end to me.
You brought me into this world. You can take me out of it.
If I die, give my Disney pass to Yensid. He really wants it for some reason. It's a small world.
Oh no! No! He's evil! How did this happen?
Behold, these lifeless keys used to be full of power, united with the hearts of their master.
My good uncle was actually my bad uncle?
Keyblades of light and darkness were locked in combat as a great Keyblade war raged.
The uncle who didn't try to kill us was the bad uncle.
Countless Keyblades gave up their lives, all in search of one
Just bad
ultimate
uncles.
key. And it will soon
Hey, look, it's all the people that spent money in the gacha game.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
All the names come up in Kingdom Hearts 3 in one bit.
You can see all the whales.
You have to defeat a boss by firing people's usernames at them.
It's great.
That's awesome.
It actually is pretty cool. But it is very silly.
Fruity's on the fence on it, it seems like.
I think it's
Cool
nice,
for stronger.
you know.
My arm is a dolphin. Sorry, there is a gif of him doing that, and that's all I hear every single time I see it.
He's just wiggling his arm.
My arm is a dolphin.
What?
What?
His arm turns into an actual dolphin. What?
Holy
Oh,
shit.
cool.
That's my dad! It's just old man noises.
It's like picking up by the head and upside down. I remember.
Back in my day.
Ben, your keyblade's already facing that way. Just
The
reach
keyblade of the
backwards.
Ow. Also, part of his knee is just blown off now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ben, are you okay?
Cast fire, Mom, you fucking bitch.
Just a bit cold.
Aqua comes in. Oh, my little baby's got a fever. What the fuck?
I love Leonard Cohen's old man noises. They're so good.
How about you leave the popsicle with me? So
Oh,
you
not
go have your fight
Brig.
with Terra.
Why the fuck is he here
Too happy
again?
about him deep sixing you.
He works for Xanod.
In a long time, comrade.
Who are you?
Brig.
Greg. Fantasy Craig.
Brig, son of
You've
Craig.
got some grand role to play.
Holder of the sacred
That's
gun.
Jeff. You're only here so when I
Grandson of
finish
Jeff.
you off, Terra will succumb to the darkness. So, who wants to go first?
Shut up!
Oh, he's heckin' mad. Yeah, you got him.
So this kiddo thinks he's a full-fledged Keyblade wielder.
Keyblade, Keyblade.
Keyblade wielder. I don't have the Keyblade yet.
Keep trying to drive us apart with your mind games. It'll never work.
Unless it does. He's so mad. What the
I'm so
fuck?
angry, but all my limbs are frozen.
Prove to you he's stronger.
It's Brig.
Oh,
Who
no.
doesn't?
Okay, so Aqua has to fight Breg during this last
I
bit.
see your scheme, Brig. You'll never split us up. Immediately splits up.
Right.
I keep forgetting don't mess with Keyblade wielders.
Keyblade
But you know what?
or the Skyblade?
That just means I made the right choice. Well, he wanted me to buy time, and I'd say he got it.
Bye.
What?
Seriously, what the hell's a Keyblade?
He's still just frozen over. He's so heckin' mad.
Oh god! I'm freezing my balls off!
Just like what happened to Eris.
Oh god.
Sorry, the Henry.
No!
The death of Henry, see?
Oh no. Oh, he peed himself.
He's so angry, he's steaming. Yeah, I peed. This is my trick. I peed myself to recover. Oh god,
Just
it's
let it out. Just let it out.
just here's the slish sloshing in the armor.
Oh god.
It's so gross. Ew, ew, ew. I gotta finish this fast. Just take your armor off. No.
It's getting cold. It's getting cold.
Excuse me?
Wee! Wee!
Is this forever?
Oh no.
Is this my life now?
I live like this.
Stop pressing the buttons, you fool!
He was doing his big move while you were doing your Sarkin, and that wasn't the best time, I don't
Oh, he's
think.
gonna go around in circles for 5 minutes again.
Yeah, I just always shot lock if he's riding around on the thing, I think.
So that is going to be what I attempt now. Holy
Whoa!
shit!
That's in first person terrifying.
Did not like it.
No, he didn't. He hated that.
Oh, he still did that stupid teleport move. Cool.
Ow.
They just mid-combo on you, sometimes more than once.
Well, he punished you for that. See ya.
Eh. A lot of damage.
Yeah. No! Fuck off!
Too slow! Oh, he got you again with the classic ruse.
Talking shit while getting the shit kicked out of him.
Well.
He learned from the best.
What? Whoa!
No, come back down here. Stop. Stop that. That thing you're doing? Stop that. Where did the man go?
He went
I'm right here.
No! Stop it!
Walk slowly.
You're not part of the turbo team, Veneer.
I want to shot lock the man. Whatever. Can I know where he is? Can I know where
He's
he
in the
is?
floor.
Dave?
Possible. He knows.
When you can't lock onto him, he's in the floor, I think.
Or maybe he's too far and the lock-on doesn't like me. This is the trouble? It's hard
Or
to
he's-
tell.
Yeah. Or he's too far away and the lock-on doesn't like you and he's in the floor.
Too slow. Oh. Too slow. Ow. Too slow.
Sorry, I'm doing a combo. Please stop breaking out of it and acting like you're bruising me.
Going underground.
Oh, yeah. No!
That's all you need. So
Shit.
that-
Stupid tornado.
This is the power of the Keyblade. The Keyblade or the Keyblade.
I need to not be there anymore.
At least you can actually use the move and he doesn't just dodge the whole thing. Go or just do his own one and then just kill you.
I mean, he sometimes still does that.
Yeah, but you know, it's not. It doesn't beat yours. You know, you just take damage. Pathetic. You were the one that walked into a mine, you idiot.
Literally stood on a mine and then countered the mine that he stood on by
He's trying that reverse
teleporting and hitting
psychology.
you. Stop it! Come out the floor.
Whoa, you got him like in the perfect frame. Holy crap.
Nice. Flame perfect. Flame perfect. Frame perfect trick
Flame
there.
perfect.
Okay, great. Stop!
I'm a wizard.
so mad.
You're a little low on health.
Just
as well.
heal.
Yep.
Stop being in the floor!
I like it here.
No, don't fall.
Whoa. Oh my god, that was nice.
Yeah.
Calm looking goofy.
Nice.
Done.
Sorry, I have the gamer focus there.
That's
Look
good.
at my guy doing a little cartwheel.
First try.
Styling on the guy.
Not
That's
first
right.
try. Never
You've
mind.
done it,
It's
Ventus.
first try.
No, I'm stanky.
It's a trial and error fight. You just can't know what to do until you're trying to figure it
Body's
out.
about to perish.
Whoa.
You and I will have to join
Hey,
together.
look, it's Edgy Sora.
It's
Hey, look,
Edgy
it's Edgy
Sora.
Sora.
Will be forged.
This is my original character. Phineas. He's like Sora, but he has black hair and he's evil.
He listens to a lot of My Chemical Romance
happened when you
and
and I were split into
what
two.
the fuck is that? Evanescence.
The negativity took shape.
Not
as
even
we
My
did
Chemical
monsters.
Romance. It's just
They are what I
like
feel.
Paramore.
Word of fledgling
Oh,
emotions under my
ew,
control.
Gross.
Them in all the worlds I could. Hoping to lure you away from home and isolate you from your master. We needed to make
Why
you
am I
stronger.
covered in unversed?
The unversed were the perfect opponents.
But I've got him where I want him
No matter
now.
how many times you beat them,
No!
right back into me.
No!
It just feels so good.
Chance against us, Ventus.
Horrible. And I hate the fact that I knew what was happening immediately.
It's Venom Peter Parker.
Oh jeez, is he gonna do a funny little dance?
And then punch a lady.
Stinks, doesn't it?
Fuck, I want pizza. Speaking of Venom Peter Parker, why does that remind me of pizza? He has
Spider
pizza, doesn't he?
delivers pizzas in that one, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Time.
Oh. but I
Our
wanted to
union
look at
was not
pizza?
finished.
That looks like ass!
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
this looks like ass! What the
I
fuck?
felt like my
Oh, God.
eyes weren't funcking
What is
properly, so I'm
happening?
glad that you confirmed that for me, that I'm not going crazy. I thought I was losing the ability to see.
It's like an AI-generated Keyblade.
It's got like Minecraft lava texture in it. Not even Minecraft.
Shit in
No.
here.
Your heart too, idiot.
Oh, from
You
the stained
destroy it,
glass to the
your
bad
heart will
Keyblade,
vanish.
The crappy
and I
fire
mean
gift.
Keyblade, not
What is-
Keyblade.
No, you mean
It's the
Keyblade, not
Calibur one.
Keyblade.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
that's
that
the Keyblade. Yeah, that's the Keyblade.
It's always
It's
about your
three
friends, isn't
things
it?
smashed together. It's two Kingdom Keys and bad
Three.
texture. What the
Oh god! My dad and mom are with slow anime fading. The mom and dad.
Yeah, okay, so it is full
Oh.
screen, so you get to see everything, but I did get it. I got it. That's gonna make for a great thumbnail, actually, so...
What's yours is mine.
Oh,
Yours is mine!
Oh, oh, we're doing this. Okay. Come here. Well, those did hit him! He didn't really react to it, but it did hurt him. So that's exciting.
It did a thing.
Sarah, please.
Well, he jumped.
Also, the Keyblade is far too big, and he looks very silly
Yeah.
when he's just walking around with it.
Nope, that's the wrong move! Reminder, I don't
Hey.
have a down button.
Yeah, you don't. Makes it a little bit harder to play this game without the down.
Just in case everyone's wondering why I am scrolling the longest possible way to my move. Because I have no option.
At least Ars Arcanum absolutely destroys
Yeah, it
him,
did.
though.
Oh yeah.
Holy
He went
shit!
too slow and then exploded.
Too slow. Whoa, whoa, attention now.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
What?
Oh, clones.
Yeah, well, you can just do this again.
And also,
Oh.
it is an
no.
NOC. It is actually meant to look like Sora, by the way, if anyone is curious.
It's my original character. Blara. He's really evil.
No, I hit the gear button. Please, I hit the button.
Oh God.
Hit the button.
You see, he has all the powers of Sora and Riku.
And Raikou.
I hit the button.
Horrible Bora.
No.
Please stop doing things.
Oh God,
Please,
what the
Sora, please, it's my turn.
I mean,
you went
if you
beyond
didn't
turn.
die, that was like already like a third of his health. Ours Arcanum is really good.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we let him
It's
do his big
so
stupid
much better
move,
than ours Arsolum.
and then I get in there and I ruin his day.
See ya.
Oh, he makes crosses.
Because he's making the Kai blade symbol.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
It seems like he waits for you to hit him with your biggest move, and then he just does the combo, and it like exactly kills you before you finish.
Yeah.
Could try not doing the extensions on our Arcanum.
Yeah, do like the first couple hits and stop it.
But I wanna. Hey, have we
If it keeps killing you, then you know.
Come
on!
Oh, you blocked!
I don't know why, because I wasn't hitting square, like, at all. And then we leave. And then we leave. And then we heal? Never mind, I don't heal, actually, is the thing.
At least your dodge
When I
doesn't
heal?
suck ass.
Why is that the move?
If you had Terra's dodge for this fight would be
Yeah, it would be horrible.
Ah, you're exploding a lot.
Yeah.
It's fine. Fine. Fine.
Well, Mom, get
Mom!
in here!
Mom, help.
I know you're unconscious, Mom, but help!
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, that's too of
Okay, Mom, fuck off. Get out of my room, I'm playing Minecraft!
Nope.
Maybe just know when to fold him. Ow! It looks like you fucking little asshole!
Just always be rolling. We got this.
Just keep rolling.
We're gonna dust him. The old dust play.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't want Kira. The thing is, I wanted that. Yeah. And then I might shield.
No!
Oh, he blew up like loads of.
Ah!
Oh,
Nothing
you did not enjoy
compares
that
to a
fight.
quiet evening alone.
And then I big. And then I run away. No.
Whoa! The fever pigeon to get an immediate block? Hidden tech.
No, what are you doing? Vengeance!
After all
You
this
fool!
time, I'm still into you.
This is my OC Dark Dust. It's all the powers of Fred Dust. And also Riku.
Dread Durst.
No! Where is the boy?
There he is.
Oh my.
No!
No!
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah,
Why
you're
is
in
it
the you're
even
in
happening?
you're in the hidden you're in the last part of the phase now. It's very different. Honestly, yeah, you kind of have to mash your moves. You have to match what he does.
Oh no, it's all mini games, huh?
Yeah, there's one like a laser beam one which you have to counter with your shot lock ability, and one that you have to counter with like your command menu.
This is stupid and I hate this.
You cannot resist, Ventus.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, you have to wait for him to do stuff for the most part. As soon as that bar on the left side is maxed out, you win basically.
Oh, Dak Link.
Damn.
A beam struggle! Kaioken times 20! Last word.
Wait, so we're doing this now.
We don't want to be doing this. We want to be doing last words.
But we're doing this.
Light!
There's just flashing things on
Oh.
the screen. It was just flashing.
Light.
It did.
Nicely done. Cool. Keep it. Whatever that is.
It's the Kai
It's
blade.
the Kai blade.
No!
It's just like wrestling!
Yeah,
It's just trying to get to the corner to tag in his partner and he can't!
Bro, it's my turn on the PS5. The PS4, the PS5.
Jokes. We're on the PSP, bitches.
The superior console.
Got an extra P.
Don't say that about the emulator. That'll give away the illusion.
It's not, there's no emulator here, that's
It's
my
not what we're
2PS.
using. It's, yeah, the two
Okay, that's
PSPs
fine.
together.
Yeah. So you have to double up on all the letters because there's two of them smashed
My
together.
mistake. Silly me.
Excuse you.
It's a little ball of light that flies up into the air.
Bye. Is that it? Oh my god, look at them. They did not look good.
Fuck off, Michael.
You've signed the blood contract. You're under my rule now, bitches!
I can't believe Michael stole everyone. Horrible. Awful treatment.
Oh look, it's the intro from Kingdom Hearts 1. Oh, crazy.
When you walk away, you don't give me
Oh baby! Don't go!
In here. That's like when everyone gets drunk and just starts singing simple.
When Genshin Quake decide to sing the Sephiroth song.
But congratulations, you beat Ventus's story. It's, as you can see, it was way easier than Terra's.
So much easier than
a little bit.
Terra's. Holy shit! End game. Get me out of here.
Did we save?
Wait.
You have to
no.
save.
No. Click no? Okay, no
I
click
thought
save.
that was the save.
Oh my
Fine.
god.
Oh, I forget to start Ventus again from the beginning. huh?
We would be done. Is what would happen. We would be done.
I know.
And we
One
finished,
more
but we
full
did
story.
finish, and now we're on to Lady.
Aqua.
Lady.
What a lady.
Water Lady,
Oh,
who's
Mom.
the best character in the game.
Lady. Alright. Oh, we did it.
Good job.
I don't feel nearly as accomplished as I did after beating Terra's fight, or Terra's bit, but that's just because the fight with Xehanort, or the Norded, whatever the fuck,
Was unreasonable.
I was anticipating all of this to be, like, the end of Ventus's stuff to be as bad as Terra's, and so, like,
Nope.
which is the only reason I was like, let's just fucking do this, because, like, I'm already here, and we're doing it. So, like, let's just get it done and over with. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst.
Having Ars Arcanum definitely makes that so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, you're there for a long time.
Right? I feel like even without it, it would have been
Yeah, it's still
manageable, but
easily
definitely,
doable.
like, long. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not kidding when I said that's like the hardest main story boss is Terra's story. That's literally it.
I'm glad that we did Terrace first then, because that just sort of like makes everything else feel approachable. Not enjoyable, but it's like, well, I did this, so everything else
enjoyable.
is fine.
You get to be Water Lady again.
Yeah. I don't want to stream anymore. Let's find someone to raid, but Cyril is streaming, so we gotta go say hi to Cyril.
Let's go find Cyril.
Let's go find Cyril, everyone.
We'll find a Cyril to raid.
I need cereal.
I need cereal. Cyril is playing some Cuphead, and I am here for it because I love Cuphead. So that's great and cool and fine and fun. I'm done now. Is the thing. My brain is just empty, and I am ready to go. So if somebody else wants to sign off, that would be great.
Kingdom Hearts has that.
Yo, thank you for hanging out with us. No Kingdom Hearts for the next 2 weeks because I'll be gone for a while. But soon I'll be back, and then we'll do Aqua stuff, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, fun is a strong word.
We're gonna do
For
funny
us
little
and not
cat wheels. It's gonna be great.
Alright, thank you. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here, and thanks friends for streaming with me, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, gang.
Bye-bye.
Bye.